with Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, Lance Allen on our sideline. Mike McCarthy said to us this morning, Rich, that on the flight home tonight and over the weekend, he begins to formulate his own 53-man roster.
Yeah, the evaluation process continues, Kevin. This game tonight, you mentioned in the open, third game of the preseason, how important it is. We're going to get the starters out there, get a chance to see Aaron Rodgers tonight. Obviously, Clay Matthews is going to play a little bit, Julius Peppers. But for the younger players, the players that are on the cut line, they have to step up and do something special tonight. And it's not just on offense or defense. Special teams will play a large factor in deciding who makes the final 53.
Including that guy there, 65, Lane Taylor. The Packers won the toss. They have deferred. Niners will receive. It's out of the end zone to the 25-yard line. It'll be a first down and 10 yards to go. Rich, the quarterback, and that has been a story here in the San Francisco area. Tonight starting with Blaine Gabbert, but we are going to see some Colin Kaepernick, who has missed some time and missed the first couple games with a sore shoulder.
Ken, I think the decision has been made personally. I think they're going to go with Blaine Gabbert. I know there's competition. Colin Kaepernick spent the offseason exploring an exit strategy while rehabbing from multiple surgeries, but Blaine Gabbert is going to get the start. 3-5 last season in his first action since serving as a starter in Jacksonville.
With the first and 10, tackle made by Clay Matthews. The handoff goes to Ohio State running back Carlos Hyde. First action of the preseason for Clay.
It's good to see him out there. This is going to be a good test for the Packers offense. This is a fast-paced offensive system that uses hand signals and a whole lot less verbiage. And the tempo, probably the best in football. I mean, the plays come in and out so quick from the sidelines.
Second down, long 9, Gabbert, and he's got his receiver, but he overshoots him downfield looking for Quentin Patton. With the coverage on the play by Shields.
Boy, when you have him that wide open, you got to hit him in this business. And I think it gets back to footwork. I mean, Gabbert, you watch him, he's late with his eyes. And when he finally makes a decision, he's not able to get that left foot in front enough to make a good, accurate throw to a wide-open receiver.
Packers go with 6, third down and 9. Gabbert, who was an early pick by Jacksonville, traded here, runs for close to a first down. He's going to be shy by a couple. Picks up 7 on 3rd and 9. Good pursuit. The rookie Blake Martinez was there to make the stop, and the punting unit comes out there for San Francisco.
Kevin, Martinez has been very impressive, not just in terms of what he's done in the running game, but the passing game. He's been the communication hub. He's got the headset on that the information comes down from above from Dom Capers. He's done a really nice job processing information and playing fast within their scheme.
Bradley Pinion will punt. Micah Hyde is back for Green Bay on a windy night, and this is into the wind. And Hyde was hit. It gets a good San Francisco bounce, as you can see, and roll near the 10. Patton puts it down. Pinion got the bounce. Hyde was run into. 56-yard punt. So Aaron Rodgers is going to begin it deep in his own zone at his 11 with a first and 10.
Well, we're going to see Aaron for a couple of series, and Mike McCarthy told us earlier today, Kevin, that it probably would have been more. Probably been 3 or 4 series had Aaron Ripkowski not gotten hurt in practice this week. The fullback, he hurt his knee. So as a result, they've got a couple injuries that jumped up in practice this week. We're probably going to see Aaron just for 2 series, but he has looked very, very sharp so far in training camp in practice.
With a couple of tight ends. First down and 10. This is Eddie Lacy with a good block in there by T.J. Lang. Brought down by DeForest Buckner. It is a gain of 3. Hold there momentarily, closed in a hurry. Niners were there, out to the Green Bay 13.
And this is the way they've started all of their preseason games, getting Eddie Lacy some touches, some opportunities early in the running game.
Because the run has been the focus of this camp. 2nd down and 7. Jared Cook, free agent tight end in motion. Lacy again. There's a block by Richard Rodgers. Another tackle by Buckner. That time it's a Lacy gain of 4. He was so prominent with 9 carries and 45 yards in the game last week against the Oakland Raiders. He's out to the Green Bay 18.
And we're going to see some no huddle from the Packers, and this is really important, I think, Kevin, for Jared Cook, the tight end they picked up in free agency, for him to get used to how Aaron calls plays at the line of scrimmage, but even more importantly, the tempo and the pace with which they play, especially on third down.
Aberderis is the extra receiver. He's in motion, 3rd down and 3. Rodgers into the nickel. And new center, J.C. Treader, who will be the opening day starter at that position, with the shotgun snap and on the money, and it's caught by Cook. That is a first down brought down by Ray Armstrong. The catch and run to the 37. He picks up 19 with a Green Bay first down.
And this is the matchup they want. They want their tight end matched up on the linebacker in man-to-man coverage. Not a lot of tight ends in the game today can cover that tight end across the middle of the field.
1st and 10 now, 37-yard line for Rodgers. Good blocking by Bakhtiari. And here is where Rodgers is key, buying time, overshoots Lacy, incomplete. With a late hit there, and it was by Ray Armstrong and some words from Aaron Rodgers. Bill Vinovich is our referee.
We're going to get a hold on the Packers.
89. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That was on Cook. Rich, we saw a lot last year of safeties dropping down in the box, opposing defenses trying to hem in Rodgers. They would set the edge, and Aaron a lot of times didn't have a lot of places to run.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that happened last year, Kevin. The running game wasn't as productive. I think you saw teams crowding the line of scrimmage a little bit. I think the other thing is rushing more 5 and 6 people against a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to give Aaron Rodgers any extra time in the pocket. I want to force him to make quick decisions in the passing game.
Tight end, bottom of your screen, one of 4 receivers. Lacy on the move, 1st and 20 with the penalty back at the 27. And again, the good footwork of Rodgers. And looking for Cook, and the coverage by the linebacker Armstrong.
Talk about pocket awareness, mobility, escapability. Those are all the things that Aaron Rodgers does as well as any quarterback in the game. He is so quick and always seems like he's under control in the pocket.
2nd and 20. Rodgers into the nickel. Pressure all over the place. Another flag, 2 of them thrown. The dancing Rodgers. And incomplete. Aberderis. Coverage by Tremaine Brock. He's a good one. And perhaps another hold on Green Bay.
Well, the one thing you already see early, Kevin, the receivers have to do a better
use
job.
Hands. Hands in the face. Defense number 95. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Tank Carradine. Big penalty on San Francisco and a first down for the Packers.
What's a huge penalty on 2nd and 20? That's an automatic first down. You see the penalty right there. The one thing I've seen already, Kevin, a couple times with the scrambles with Aaron Rodgers, the receivers, and that includes the tight ends, they have to do a better job coming back to the quarterback when he pulls the ball down and begins to scramble. They have to take a friendly angle back to the quarterback.
1st down and 10. This is Eddie Lacy. A Treader block and a gain out to the 37-yard line. He was hit and brought down by Wilhoit with a gain of 5. Rich, does the wide receiver position for Green Bay concern you? Again, no Nelson tonight, and we really don't know where he's going to be coming back from that knee.
Well, that is a concern. He has to play at some point, Kevin, and I think getting some reps next week against the Chiefs is going to be important. These 3 days of practice this coming week are going to be critical for Jordy Nelson, but some of the young players have to step up at that position.
With a 2nd down and 6, a block by Montgomery. This is Adams. Oh, and he's off to the races. There he goes. Chased down the side, brought down by Tart. A catch and run, Davante Adams, who played at nearby Fresno State. And he's down to the 16, but a flag. Could wipe out a 48-yard play.
Boy, simple throw and catch.
Pass interference. Offense number 18. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
On Randall Cobb.
They have blocking before the ball was actually caught by Davante Adams. That's what they called the penalty on Cobb for. Aaron Rodgers gets the ball out of his hands so quickly when he's in the shotgun, and that gives a guy like Davante Adams an opportunity to get into the transition of the run to make a play in space. Mike McCarthy arguing the call with the line judge.
We think it may have been on Montgomery and not on Cobb. So they may have had the wrong number. Vinovich, who has officiated a Super Bowl before, second down 16.
A couple big penalties early, one by the 49ers and that one there by the Packers.
3 plays punt by San Francisco. They got the opening kickoff. We've had one big Green Bay play. They began at their 11, the 19-yard catch and run by Jared Cook. Well, we sense Rodgers is processing Rich so much at that line of scrimmage.
He does so much, not just in the passing game, but the running game as well. He's involved with the protections. It really makes J.C. Cheddar's job a whole lot easier up front.
Starks is in the backfield, second down 16. He releases. He got a block, it looked like, from Cheddar. Then they pursued well. There's Armstrong again. Help on the play from rookie Ronald Blair. Only a gain of 2, and he's up to the 28-yard line.
Trying to get some of it back there on second down, put themselves in a manageable situation on third down. These third downs are tough in this league, and especially when you get 3rd and 10 or more. How quickly they got that one off.
3rd and 14. There's another flag. Bakhtiari holding his ground. There's the throw, and it's over the head of intended rookie receiver Trevor Davis, who played it nearby Cal, and another flag.
I think the 49ers had too many men on the field.
Illegal shift. Offense. All 11 players have not become set. Penalties declined. Result of the play. 4th down.
That was not the kind of start Mike McCarthy wanted to see.
Well,
it was disjointed and everything else.
They jumped the ball, and apparently someone wasn't set offensively. Kind of an ugly series for the Packers on offense.
One of the big battles in camp is for punter. And rookie free agent out of the University of Minnesota, there's Peter Mortel. 7 plays punt. Ellington is back. Wind will be at the back of Mortel, who has had a terrific camp and showing very well. With a bounce at the 37 on the fly. This is Patton on a spin. Hang of 3 threes out of bounds at the 46. Perillo drives him out of bounds. It was a punt of 41, a return of 16, and we have a timeout in the first quarter, 9:48 from Santa Clara.
This Packers preseason game is sponsored by Wisconsin Lottery, Menards, Wisconsin Dental Association, Toyota, Mills Fleet Farm, UW Health, and Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Out there again in the middle, they got Mike Pinnell, who's going to be suspended, Rich, the first 4 games of the regular season.
And there's some concern, Kevin, with the coaching staff about how thin they are along the defensive line. Even tonight, Kenny Clark's not going to play. LaTroy Guyan's out tonight. Talking about a couple players that are going to be suspended and not available for that first game against Jacksonville. Think about the temperature, the heat and humidity down there. They're going to need some big boys, big bodies up front for that first game, and some young players that have to step up early for the Packers.
Clark is battling a back injury. It's a fake to Hyde, a run by Gabbard, who played at the University of Missouri, and he's down about the 44-yard line of Green Bay. It is a scramble of 9 by Gabbard, who was a bust, as we mentioned before, in Jacksonville, and traded here when the Niners were looking for some quarterback help, with a look at Peppers, who is in along with Clay Matthews. 2nd down and 1. And a quick throw, and it goes to the tight end. Clinton Dix is there as he wrestles Garrett Selleck. Limits him to a gain of 3. They do get the first down to the Green Bay 41. Actually, Matthews was out on that last play as Peppers was in.
Everybody just assumed when Chip Kelly got the job in San Francisco that this would be a perfect offense for Colin Kaepernick. And really, the guy that I think is going to start week 1 is Blaine Gabbert. 5-22 as a starter in Jacksonville. Got a chance last year to play behind a kind of a limited offense and did pretty good. They were 3-5, but he, I thought, handled himself well despite some issues at the running back position. They lost Carlos Hyde. He missed the last 9 games with a foot injury.
Garrett Selleck makes that catch, picks up 11 after the 16-yard punt return, which puts him in good beginning field position to start from their 47. Now they're at the Green Bay 30. This is Hyde with the 1st and 10. Oh, and he bounces outside. And look at him run. He's inside the 5. He's grabbed by Micah Hyde, who tackles Carlos Hyde. A 28-yard gain, 1st and goal to go.
And Peppers gets fooled. He gets squeezed down inside. He doesn't set the edge like he's supposed to. And Carlos Hyde, I think, surprises him with his speed and niftiness. Just kind of bounces that one to the edge. You can't allow the running back to get outside.
Last week, the Raiders only had 46 rushing yards. Green Bay's been good against the run. 1st and goal at the 3. In the move outside, Patton. Touchdown. Quentin Patton out of Louisiana Tech.
It's not a very complicated offense, but they hit you quickly. You know, you look at the amount of plays that Chip Kelly will dial up during the course of a game. His Eagles teams averaged 115 more offensive snaps per season than the 49ers did during the same tenure. Dom Capers is going to do a really good job getting the plays in and out quickly on defense.
They will call that a run because it was thrown laterally or behind the line, and so even though he passed the ball, it will be labeled officially a 3-yard touchdown run. Patton got it, takes it in. With the extra point here is Phil Dawson. 18 years in the NFL and right down the middle. San Francisco scores on their 2nd possession, 7:49 in the 1st. Second look at Aaron Rodgers after this kickoff by San Francisco. A 3-yard touchdown run by Patton. On a short drive, Rich, they got the good punt return of 16 yards.
Yeah, the protection wasn't great. Just the timing and the rhythm of the passing game. And the one thing that really jumped out to me, just watching from above, Kevin, when Aaron Rodgers starts to move around, starts to scramble, starts to get outside the pocket, the receivers have to put their foot in the ground and come back and give him an opportunity to throw the ball and find an open receiver. It wasn't the sense of urgency from the receivers to come back at a friendly angle and give Aaron an opportunity for an outlet throw.
Hyde and Davis are back for Green Bay. Pinion will kick off for San Francisco into the wind. And at the 1, on the move, Micah Hyde. Is blown up by L.J. McCray. 13-yard return. Here comes the 2-time MVP, 32-year-old Aaron Rodgers with the 2nd possession for Green Bay, down 7-0. Hensley has been the starting center last couple years, but he's injured with a hamstring, still on the physically unable to play list. And so J.C. Tretter, who has had a good camp, Mike gave him the starting job and nod for the season with his performance this summer.
Yeah, he earned it. I mean, he earned the position. I think it's important to acknowledge that. Played well early in his career, had the injury, and sometimes, you know, your best ability is your availability. And you know, Corey Linsley's a good player as well, Kevin, but you miss that much time, and the show goes on. And to his credit, J.C. Tretter has really stepped up this preseason and played well.
Both tight ends in on the near side from the 13, 1st and 10. Lacy the back. Eddie Lacy. Tretter had a good block, and that opens the door for Lacy into the secondary. Brought down by linebacker Gerald Hodges. A run of 21, and he's out to the Green Bay 35.
Got pulled down by his hair. Nice job bouncing this run. He starts it up inside. He does a nice job. Good block on the edge there by the tight end Jared Cook, and then he gets pulled down by his hair,
which is legal.
Gerald Hodges gets part of that hair. You got a choice. If you don't want it pulled, you don't lose your hair, then cut it. That is legal. You're right.
From the 34, Lacy, 1st and 10. Tries to dig his way, finds 3 to the Green Bay 37.
Well, a bit of a disappointing season last year. You see the numbers. Had the injury, was at one point benched. Had the issue with the weight. Really has worked hard. Rededicated himself to getting himself in great shape, and they want to make sure that he is ready for the regular season, and that's why he is getting a lot of work early in these preseason games.
Mike McCarthy actually called him out about his weight. 2nd down long, 7. Good time for Rodgers. wide. Devontae Adams, who was looking to rebound after a poor season a year ago. Had an ankle injury, a lot of it. 3rd down and 7.
Bit of a sophomore slump last season, just the 50 receptions. I think everyone was impacted by Jordy Nelson's absence. Look how quick they jumped the ball again.
3rd and 7. Rodgers. Is that blown dead before they...
Another flag.
Yeah.
Down the field. Might be a defensive holding.
Looked like it.
12 men, defense. The last player did not get off the field prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
There's none quicker in the NFL than in doing this than Green Bay and Rodgers.
He really puts pressure on the defense, and especially defensive coordinator, to make the substitutions, to get the communication in. They do a great job on 3rd down, Kevin, jumping the ball. And I thought the previous 3rd down, they had the same issue. The 49ers weren't able to make the proper substitution. They didn't call it. That time they got him.
Rookie Trevor Davis is out there as one of the wide receivers. 3rd down and 2. We all know Lacy is a 3-down back, which is such a luxury for this offense. From the Green Bay 41 into the nickel.
See the change right there? Protection change. It changes the concept for the receivers.
3rd and 2. They get the blocking and they get the 1st down. Blocking ahead with Sitton. Gain of 5. Good call, Rich. 46-yard line. Packers will get the 1st.
He's going to preview the shell of the secondary. When he realizes that they're 1 short, he's going to try and mix in a run. Nice job by the offensive line. Good job getting up on the 2nd level and getting a hat on the linebacker.
Those guards, Lang and Sitton, as good as there are in the league as a tandem. 1st and 10, Lacy. Turning and twisting and finally brought down by Will Hoyt down to the 48-yard line of San Francisco. That's a gain of 6. He had a 21-yard run earlier on the drive. Here comes Starks.
And I can't tell you how important it's going to be this year for this running game. And we know what Aaron Rodgers and a healthy Jordy Nelson can be in the passing game. But if they can get the running game cranked up a little bit, this can be the best offense in football.
2nd down 4. Fake. Cobb will dance and dive and take it for a 1st down to the San Francisco 38. Catch and run at 10. Read well by Rodgers and Cobb and a 1st down.
You knew it was just a matter of time that they run the boot off the stretch. Aaron throws that with ease, going either to his right or his left, as we just saw.
Bit of a calf injury, too, that Cobb is dealing with. Blocked by Cook. 1st and 10 pitch. Starks to the 34 with a gain of 5. There was hardly a tandem in the NFL, Rich. Better running the ball. These two both over 600 yards. Starks a career year and Lacy a season ago.
And the more you can do. And Starks' his versatility back there, his ability to be a 3-down back, getting more and more out of Lacy and staying there on 3rd down as well. Protection just as important, especially with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. You have to understand your responsibility and role as a back in the passing game.
Davis, the rookie, bottom of your screen. 2nd down 5. I just saw Cobb patting his right leg. It was a signal to Davis. The handoff to Starks and a block by the tight end Rodgers with a gain of 3 as he slants down to the 31-yard line of San Francisco.
Well, the offensive line, I think, has really played well this preseason, especially inside. T.J. Lang, J.C. Treader, Josh Sitton. A really good job. We talk about the strength of your football team down the middle, and they are very, very good inside.
3rd and 2. He's got a wide open Randall Cobb. On the move, the catch and run, 15. They take it down to the 16-yard line of San Francisco.
Really nice route by Cobb inside, working on the corner. Look at the separation he gets, forces the safety to come down and make an open field tackle.
So Lacy had a 21-yard run. Cobb a couple of good plays, catches of 10 and 16. It is the 10th play of the drive, and it's 1st and 10. Starks read well. Good open field tackle. Chris Davis. Gain of the yard to the 15. Get that running game going. What do you always say? The best friend of a quarterback is a running game, huh?
Absolutely. And the offensive linemen love it too, Kevin. And they can come off on the ball a little bit. They can tee off on the defensive line. It's tough. You have to pass set every down. It's too hard in this league with these great pass rushers.
Second down and 9. Starks blocked by Sitton with a tackle made by Jaquaski Tart out of Samford with a gain of 3 to the 12.
You know, the Packers really have two offensive coordinators, a couple play callers. You know, you got Mike McCarthy over there calling plays, but you got Aaron Rodgers out there doing the same thing, Kevin. He's never going to run a play that doesn't have a chance. He looks at it, he previews the front, the secondary. He's going to get him in the best play possible based on the situation, down and distance, in the red zone. Doesn't waste a lot of snaps during the course of a 60-minute game.
Cobb in the backfield, 3rd and 6.
Comes the blitz. Internal pressure.
And Rodgers saw the clock.
Play game. Offense number 12. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Too late. That changes the play. So, Rich, Mike is talking to him in the headset. And how much time does he get to talk in the headset to Rodgers?
Yeah, that play clock, that clock will cut off at 15 seconds, but Mike's able to give him a lot of information. You know, he's able to give him a couple of different options in terms of a play concept, the protection. And then Aaron calls the play, and then at the line of scrimmage, Kevin, a lot of different things happen. He may change the protection. He may slide the line to the left as opposed to the right. He may have the back stay in. He may give a hand signal to the receiver. So he does a lot at the line of scrimmage, and in that situation, he's trying to preview where the blitz is coming from. If it took too long, he tried to call the timeout.
Cobb in the backfield. Starks is in the slot. They go outside. Davis on 3rd and 11. Hit and wrestled out of bounds by Jimmy Ward. He was a first-round pick out of Northern Illinois a couple years ago. They get as far as the 7.
And they'll stay out there and go for it on 4th down.
4th and 1.
Again, they're just a little sugar huddle. They're all standing around. Aaron will call the play.
What do you mean sugar huddle?
Well, they just stay around the line of scrimmage, jump the football, around the football, and then basically Aaron's going to look at it, preview it, get everybody lined up, get everybody in position, and then call the play.
4th long 1. Starks, blocked by Cook, Powers, near the 5, and very close to a first down.
Kind of an unusual formation.
It was.
You've got Cobb in there, you've got Jared Cook in there at the tight end position, is lined up as a fullback because you don't have Aaron Ripkowski in uniform tonight.
Yeah, Ripkowski was hurt in practice, a knee yesterday. But you can see the multiple benefits of a tight end that can block a number of tight ends. That was a position that did not produce for them, Rich, last year.
And we talk about versatility. The more you can do, and you know, look, there's a reason why they went out and got Jared Cook. They need more production at the tight end position. You look at Richard Rodgers last year.
Got it.
Need more production there. And the competition at that position. Keep an eye on Justin Perillo. Bachman, obviously Richard Rodgers. How many tight ends will they keep this year? And a lot of it also depends on their involvement and participation in special teams.
They like Bachman, they like Perillo. Cook, you know, missed all the offseason with the preventative foot surgery. He just came off the PUP list a couple weeks ago. It's 1st and goal at the 6th. It's the 14th play of the drive coming up. Where the hand signals, the communication between Treader. There's no time on the clock in the first quarter. But that unspoken...
takes a while sometimes, doesn't it?
It does.
It's a while.
But just the nonverbal communication with him and
Back
Treader
and forth
is interesting to watch. Packers in scoring position, down by 7. Let's go to the second on the Packers Television Network. Back in the San Francisco Bay Area, the second quarter is sponsored by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Packers on this drive, 9 runs and 4 passes. First and goal at the 6, and some extended playing time for their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
This is what you want in a long drive, Kevin. The Packers defense loves this, these 14-play drives. Keep that 49ers defense on the field and wear them down.
Began back at the Green Bay 13. Lacey with runs of 21 and 6. Cobb with catches of 10 and 16. We open up the second quarter with the first and goal at the 6. First teamers out there. Davis, rookie, top of your screen. Starks the back. Cobb, the move, the slash, the drive, and the 6. A 6-yard touchdown pass. And Green Bay is on the board. Randall Cobb.
Kevin, that was actually a running play. It's amazing that, Aaron's able to see the internal blitz by the 49ers. He realizes that can't change the play, so instead of handing the ball off to Starks, he just zings it out there to Randall Cobb. Cobb makes the defender miss and goes in and scores. I mean, that's the beauty of this offense, the built-in options for the quarterback.
A lot of people talking about his drops last year. Cobb has got the ball better, they think, than last season. He's been sometimes rich in practice, the easy ones he's dropped, whereas he's made the hard catches. But that was a terrific play as Mason Crosby will try to tie the game on a Mortel hold, and it is in.
Close.
It was. It's tied. There is Randall Cobb. He had 6 touchdown receptions last year. He goes in there on a 6-yarder from Aaron Rodgers. Drive, Aaron Rodgers was 4 of 5.
No signs of rust there, huh? He has looked really sharp in the practices leading up to this game, and obviously he's been anxious to get out there and play a little bit, but you get to be the best in the business, and particularly nowadays with the salary cap and these salaries, you got to be smart with the veteran players, and so that may be the end for Aaron Rodgers tonight. Just the 2 series.
Here's the kickoff, and it goes to Bruce Ellington, who then is hit inside the 20-yard line. Returns at 18 yards. Rodgers and the Packers converted 2 third downs and a 4th down on that drive. And one of the things you were talking about before the game is, if nothing else, just to get to the speed of a regular game, even though it's a preseason, as Colin Kaepernick will come in for the first time in the preseason for San Francisco.
And some Bluebirds, Kevin. He spent a lot of the offseason looking at ways to really get out of San Francisco. Rehab, multiple injuries and surgeries. Had a knee, a shoulder, and a thumb injury that he rehabbed this offseason. Hasn't thrown a lot in practice. Had a sore shoulder, sore arm. So we're anxious to see what Kaepernick can do tonight against a very good Green Bay defense.
Clay Matthews is in, 1st and 10. Kaepernick, he throws over Clay and he goes outside. Kaepernick hits Vance McDonald with a gain of 2 as the first team defense is still in there for Green Bay. It's out to the Niner 19-yard line. Martinez in on the action.
And a completely new offense for everybody to learn out here in San Francisco, but especially the quarterbacks, because this is a very different offense. It's a fast-paced system that uses hand signals and not a lot of verbiage. So basically everyone looks over to the sidelines, gets the play from Chip Kelly, and away they go.
A lot of eyes on those 2 inside backers for Green Bay. There's one of them right there, Martinez, on that 2nd down and 8. And the run high to the 20-yard line, gain of a yard.
You could see good job by Martinez filling the hole. Carlos Hyde had nowhere to go. Big question out here in San Francisco, can Hyde be the marquee back in a run-oriented scheme? Had a great start last year in the game against Minnesota, 168 yards, a couple touchdowns, but then after that, he really struggled.
3rd down 7, Green Bay has put in an extra defensive back. Kaepernick, and caught, And spinning for a first down with the catch, DeAndrew White. Gain of 12. He is a second-year receiver out of Alabama. Rollins on the stop. First down throw up to the Niner 32.
Well, it's a really good throw and really pretty good coverage by the 49 or by the Green Bay Packers. Rollins right there thought he had the interception.
Kaepernick first and 10. Lowry coming in. Here comes Martinez. Couple rookies for Green Bay putting the pressure on. It's incomplete downfield. Once again, a look for White on the throw by Colin Kaepernick.
Good challenge for this Packers defense, Kevin, in terms of how quickly the plays come in. So it's a very up-tempo offense. This will put some stress on their communication. And also, I think, a good challenge going up against a very mobile and active quarterback in Colin Kaepernick. It'll be disciplined with your rush lanes and keep him in the pocket. Force him to function as a pocket passer.
By the way, no Joe Thomas tonight. He's got a calf injury. Second and 10. With pressure, incomplete. Third and 10.
Nice job by Nick Perry.
Sure was.
He's got to stay healthy this year for the Packers.
Right in that passing lane, they were going for McDonald.
An alert play by Perry. Knew he wasn't going to be able to get there. The ball was going to come out quick, so he does the next best thing, jumps up and knocks that one down.
So we told you before, no Kenny Clark tonight because he's got a back injury. Price has been in. We've seen Lowry. They've got to begin producing these young players in the middle. Raji gone, third down and 10, Kaepernick. Right in his grill, deflected and incomplete. Downfield for McDonald, and Shields was in the vicinity. I can't punt it. There's Clinton Dix.
Really nice job by the Packers working in tandem. You see the corner come off. Shields gets a hand on the ball. In the area as well.
So opinion to punt. Micah Hyde is back for Green Bay inside the Packer 20.
This is where they've got to get better. We talked about poor starting field position for the Packers last year, and even tonight, the return units, the kickoff return and punt return, areas where they have to be better.
Number 30 last year. Pinion to the sideline, and not much length, and it got a nice little bounce and rolls to about the 26-yard line with a punt of 41 yards. We don't think Aaron's going to come back in, so Mike McCarthy will go to the bullpen. He's going to probably put in number 6 right there. We'll talk about him. Joe Callahan when we come back.
Back here in Levi's Stadium, let's take a look at that last drive. Eddie Lacy got the party started. 14-play drive. They chewed up just under 8 minutes. Aaron looked sharp. He was 6 of 9 for 60 yards. Finds Cobb on third down. Starks with a nice run. And they finish it off with a Rodgers to Cobb 6-yard touchdown play and tie the score at 7. Really nice job by the Packers after starting with poor starting field position back at the 13.
So Aaron Rodgers is finished tonight. They got just the kind of workout he wanted. Joe Callahan becomes the second Green Bay quarterback, but he's got the first team offensive line and the top starters at the skill positions around him. 2 tight ends, fake to Starks, first and 10, down he goes. Hit by Carradine, former second-round pick out of Florida State. He is brought down back at the Green Bay 27, a loss of 10.
Wow, need to do a better job. The tight end position, Richard Rodgers, he's going to get blown up early. Can't hold up against just a really good rush off the edge. Callahan has nowhere to go with the ball, takes the sack on first down.
Cook is in the slot. Rodgers, the tight end, in tight. Second and 20 for Callahan. Starks. Rodgers with the block. Nothing there. Shutting the door. No gain on the play. Hit by Wilhoit to the sideline for the first time in Lance Allen.
Kevin, thank you very much. You know, earlier in the game, and earlier I should say before the game, it was Aaron Rodgers throwing to Jordy Nelson. Of course, Jordy Nelson not playing this evening, but a lot of passes about 3/4 speed, and like Rich said, they need to get that timing down. Nelson coming back to practice on Monday, so encouraging signs that he is closer to playing. Back up to you guys.
Thank you. 3rd and 20 coming up, and there's a player down for San Francisco.
And you got to ask yourself, Kevin, if he only plays a limited number of snaps next week, how much would he be able to play week 1 against Jacksonville? I mean, he can't expect him to go out there and play a full game of 65 snaps. So they'll have to be smart with how they use him to make sure that he gets off to a good start this season.
Well, a lot of questions, as we talked about, Rich, before about the wide receiver position. Adams had a good game against Oakland. Janis now gone with the hand surgery. Nelson coming back, and really an unknown quantity right now. Montgomery coming back from injury. Last season, the lack of a deep threat caused them to have to change their offense. Handcuffed Rogers, some would say, and it just got to be an interesting. But it was interesting hearing Jordy Nelson talk about the receivers. Say it's been the most competitive receiver camp since he's been a Packer.
You look at the bottom there, they kept 5 receivers last year, Kevin, so I mean, it's really competitive. You know that Nelson and Cobb and Devontae Adams and Ty Montgomery, he missed the final 10 games with an ankle injury. Randall Cobb had an injury. Jordy Nelson had an injury. This group has to stay healthy, and the young players have to continue their development. You need more out of Devontae Adams. Ty Montgomery needs to take the next step. Jared Aberderis, he needs to take the next step. These guys have a great opportunity here the next 2 weeks to show that they're good enough to be in the mix at wide receiver.
As Mike McCarthy has talked about the injury to Nelson last year, he said, just quite frankly, some positions, Rich, are harder to overcome than others. You got to shift gears, and it can derail you.
We have so much depth and talent on this roster at a number of different positions, and wide receiver being one of them. And they'd love to keep 6 or 7 of those players, but you can't. And they've got tough decisions to make. How many offensive linemen do you keep? How many pass rushers do you keep? And if you're going to play wide receiver in Green Bay, you better be able to block in the running game, but you also better be able to contribute in the kicking game. And the more you can do, Randall Cobb can return punts and kicks when needed. Whatever, the more you can do gives you the best opportunity to make this team.
Nickel secondary, 3rd down and 20. Green Bay needs the 47. Starks on the move from behind. It's Carradine bringing him down out to the 35-yard line. Gain of 8, and the punting unit will take the field.
Just couldn't overcome the mistake and the sack on 1st down. Tried to take a shot down the field, but protection didn't hold up, and tough when you find yourself in 2nd and 20.
Key free agent Peter Mortel. 2nd time. Ellington is back for San Francisco inside the 20. Wind in the face of Mortel. High snap. Fields it cleanly. He's an athletic kid. He was a quarterback in high school as well. Ellington on the move. And Banjo couldn't get him initially at the 25. Then he was brought down near the 30. 40-yard punt. 3-7 hang. And we will step aside, tied at 7 early in the 2nd quarter from Santa Clara.
This Packers preseason game is sponsored by Chevrolet, Mills Fleet Farm, Ticketmaster, Verizon, and Carmex.
Banjo, who led the team in special teams tackles a year ago, fell funny on that leg, and he's holding on to his right ham. That is not good. And looks upset. And he's in a crowded position, Rich, that safety. There's a lot of good young talent in this camp.
Yeah, it's disappointing when you're trying to make a ball club and you get an injury like that could keep you out a couple weeks.
Hyde in the backfield with Kaepernick. 1st and 10. Kaepernick read well. Nice play. Loss of 3 on the play, and look at Dayton Jones standing up for the first time in his career. There is a look at Banjo. They got Bryce, they've got Evans. It is crowded back there. They love his special teams, but Rich, you can't get injured.
A really good core player on special teams, and you're right, this is a bad time to have a hamstring injury.
2nd and 13. Kaepernick knocked down. Was that Perry? He got that big paw up there.
It's his 2nd one tonight.
Yes, he's knocked down 2. He's like J.J. Watt, who only is knocked down about 16 passes a year for the Texans, and Perry's knocked down 2 tonight for Green Bay.
It's a hard guy to figure out. Colin Kaepernick, though, gets a lot of balls batted the line.
Right, and he's so tall.
He's a taller guy, but he's got a very elongated motion. He struggles a little bit in the quick game because he has a very long throwing motion. It takes him a while to get the ball in throwing position. Gives those defensive players a chance to get their hands up and knock balls down.
A lot of Green Bay starters defensively out there. 3rd and 13. They need the 39. Kaepernick. Here is where he can cut a game open. Chased and brought down by Rollins from behind. Got him at the 36. Good pursuit by Quentin Rollins, part of this very young secondary. It is a gain of 10 on 3rd and 3, and they will punt.
You're not going to run for a lot of first downs on 3rd and 13. He's a terrific runner, but great job in the secondary coming out of coverage, and Quentin Rollins making a big open field tackle on Kaepernick.
You're right, 3rd and 13, Rich, gain of 10. They will send the punting unit out there. Bradley Pinion, who was drafted out of Clemson in the 5th round a season ago. Micah Hyde is back. Wind at his back. From the 21, Hyde. And brought down by a couple. Bruce Miller was there, and Dante Johnson there. 43-yard punt, 5-yard return. Packers defense does their job. Crockett is the new back. You see Spriggs and Taylor and Barkley. They got Patrick, and they've got a whole new group. And Murphy at that right tackle, second team line in there, Rich.
A couple draft picks. Jason Spriggs, a 2nd-round pick. Kyle Murphy, 6th-round pick.
They liked Murphy last week. They thought he played well against the Oakland Raiders.
He did. Spriggs is going to be a good one as well. Feel good about both tackles taken in last spring's draft.
Callahan 1st and 10. Aberderis gets it right in front of Tart, and it's a gain of 8 on the play to the 34. Talk me through the performance of Callahan in the first 2 games you've seen him.
Well, Kevin, he's getting a ton of work, which is great for a young player. Obviously, he started the first preseason game because of the injury to Hundley and the fact that Aaron was being held out. So he's getting a lot of work. He's got work with the 1s and the 2s, and he needs it. He's just raw. He just needs to play a little bit and get used to the speed of the game.
As does Cook. Rilhoy can't bring him down. And then that's the key for Cook. He can catch it and he can run it well after the catch. To the 47, catch and run a 12 and a 1st down.
And what's been impressive about Callahan is his ability to throw the ball on the move as well. You see Cook starts on the left, he works back underneath, and Callahan very comfortable throwing the ball outside the pocket. He's been very accurate through the preseason.
Niner player down across the way. In fact, it's Eric Reed, the Pro Bowler. Career starter. He's on a knee. Does the backup quarterback position, Rich, concern you? Hundley has not taken the snaps that they'd like to see. He's never played in a regular season game, never suited up. He was on the 3rd quarterback and active all of last season. Tolzien was the backup. Now everything is on Hundley to back up Aaron Rodgers. This is a Super Bowl caliber team.
Yeah, in a perfect world, Kevin, you know, you'd like him to play a lot in the preseason. He played a ton last year. Look at the numbers. He actually led the league in preseason passing numbers last year. Really played well. But again, as you said, these are valuable opportunities and reps that he's missing, especially with the 1s. And Joe Callahan is getting the work, and it's unfortunate. He had the high ankle sprain, came back last week. Mike McCarthy said maybe a week too early, and he re-injured it, and there's a chance maybe we don't see him next week. I think the challenge for him is just get him ready for week 1. We know Aaron's going to play, but at some point you just never know when your number is going to be called. You have to be ready. You
don't think if that left ankle of Hundley does not respond, you don't think the team will go out and maybe get like a Matt Flynn? Or
no, I think they're comfortable with Brett Hundley. I think they feel he's the future.
I'm just saying though, if he can't play,
right?
If he can't
I think
play
they feel he's the future at the backup quarterback position. And by the time you bring in another quarterback and train him, I think that they'd roll the dice with a Joe Callahan if they had to for a couple weeks.
So the Cook catch and run at 12, the tight end gets him out to the 47, 1st down. Callahan, Crockett, and grabbed by Mike Purcell, 3 years out of Wyoming on that line. Gain of 3, Rich, out to midfield.
You and I were just talking off the air a moment ago about how quickly things change in this business. It's been a bit of a free fall when you consider that the 49ers just 3 seasons ago, 2 head coaches ago, made their 3rd straight appearance in the NFC Championship game. Only 4 starters remain from that 2012 team that reached the Super Bowl. And look at the quarterback position there again for the Packers. Kevin, we know Aaron Rodgers is going to be here. Brett Hundley's probably going to make this team. Good chance that maybe Joe Callahan is a practice squad player for the Packers this season.
2nd down, 7. Cook runs into the quarterback. Busted play. Lost back to the 42. Loss of about 8. And that's one of the things with the new player like Cook. in a position, lining up in the backfield, where he probably hasn't done a whole bunch of that with the Titans or the Rams.
Well, you got to think that it's on Cook, but you're not sure, Kevin. You got a rookie quarterback in there, so you don't know if quarterback took the wrong step. The fullback, in this case, the tight end lined up as a fullback, Jared Cook, if he took the wrong step. But nonetheless, you got to get it straightened out. That those type of mistakes will kill you. Mental errors are just a real killer.
They need the Niner 43, 3rd and 15. It's Callahan wrapped up, got the pass off. Crockett scoops it in. Gain of only a yard, and the punting unit will be out there.
Protection has to get better on the edges. It's been very good and sound up inside, but they've not done a good enough job on the edges, especially the tight ends in the passing game.
The first time tonight we take a look at Tim Mastay, who I think would concede he is in a battle for this position. Against Oakland last week, 3 punts and 45 yards. Deep back is White. Mastay, great hang time. Sends up a rocket. Flag is thrown. Fair caught 17. 4.78 on the hang. 40-yard punt and well placed by the 7-year veteran Mastay, who's been the Packer punter since 2010.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 43. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. San Francisco keeps the ball. First down. Timeout.
We've seen a lot of Bill Vinovich last week, this week.
Following us around.
6:07 and a half. Ron Elliott right there, an outside linebacker playing on teams. He's struggled when he's been in there. He's great on special teams, but he's just come up lame on the sideline. They're talking to him, as you can see.
Kevin, this is not the time of the preseason you want to get hurt, with the cut down date coming next Tuesday at 75. So much competition at the linebacker position, both inside and outside for the Packers.
Colin Kaepernick remains.
Ball start. Offense number 67. After the distance of the goal, still first down.
That's a veteran Daniel Kilgore. Fans, be sure to tune into the Packers radio network during the regular season for the Menards Big Play Contest. You could win a $500 Menards gift card if the Packers score a touchdown from 25 yards or more on a single play during the second quarter. For details, visit any Wisconsin Menards store. 1st and 14. Hyde was in. Kaepernick buying time with his legs, getting a block from the tight end, chased out of bounds across the way by Nick Perry. Scrambles for 3. He's near our Lance Allen. Lance.
Kevin, yeah, we're here with special guest David Bakhtiari. And David, we were just talking about, you got family and friends here this evening because you're from close to this area.
Yeah, I grew up right in the Bay Area, San Mateo. So I got my parents here, and I guess I got a bunch of friends probably somewhere in the stands. It's good to be back home.
How good did it feel to have Aaron Rodgers out there and you guys kind of get a little bit of continuity and flow going out there tonight?
Oh, it was good. Felt good getting our captain out there. He said he felt real good. We were able to, after a bunch of penalties and all that stuff, we were able to get a nice, good flow. A lot of plays, really good to kind of get no huddle going and get the flow of having all of us out there. Now we just need 8-7 to come out, and we're excited, we're ready.
Last year I told you to your face you were a warrior in that Arizona game. I could see how much you were hurting. It hurt just to go all the way back to the locker room. How good do you feel this year? How good does the whole continuity of the offensive line feel this year?
I feel fantastic, Really took care of it in the offseason, and I'm excited for this year. This is going to be a great year. Talk about our offensive line. I think it's our 3rd year together, all starting again, and I'm excited. We got a lot of good guys in this line, and I'm feeling really good.
It looks really good. David, thanks for the time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much.
All right, David Bakhtiari joining us live right here on the Packers TV Network. Guys, back up to you.
3rd and 10 play, a scramble of 8. Jermaine Whitehead really closed the door well, and Kaepernick, who is fast, and Whitehead really shifted gears and forced him out of bounds, and now the punting unit out there for San Francisco.
Defensively, Kevin, they've done a nice job containing Kaepernick. He's pulled the ball down a lot. They've not had a A lot of good looks in the passing game. Kaepernick has a very difficult time, in my opinion, Kevin, of processing information and getting through the progressions in his reads.
Pinion punting. He back for Green Bay, rookie Trevor Davis. They want to see a lot out of him. He bumps into his own man, Hawkins, and fair caught. 35-yard punt near the 47. They like Davis. Fastest receiver. He had the punt return last week, you may recall, against the Raiders of 21 yards. They think he needs a little bit more strength, but here's a kid who played at Cal. He began at the University of Hawaii. He led the Pac-12 in kickoff return. And of course, we know that his quarterback in college was Jared Goff.
And if Al Davis were still alive, he'd probably be in a Raider uniform.
He probably
Al
would
Davis loved players that could run fast. And he took all of them, as many as he could in the draft. You know that Davis, one of the fastest receivers coming out in last year's draft.
Crockett in, 1st and 10. Quarterback Callahan. Crockett. He ran well last week against the Raiders. He's running well tonight against the Niners, and he picks up 6, and he takes it down to the San Francisco 47.
And I love how they've run the ball so far this preseason, not just with the ones, but with the twos as well. They've done a nice job with communication, getting up, getting those double team blocks at the point, and coming off on the second level, cutting the backside off, and the backs have been very deliberate with their path to the hole. Not a lot of wasted movement with their running backs.
2 starting tight ends are in. Rodgers and Cook, 2nd down 4. Crockett, who had the touchdown run and a hard-earned one last week, hit by Ray Armstrong, waived by the Raiders last year, loses a yard. The running back situation, we know Starks, we know Lacey. Crockett is there, but Burks has been impressive. In fact, there have been a couple guys that have been impressive, and Crockett is fighting. Rakowski is out. He'll be the fullback.
Yeah, Rakowski will be the fullback. We know Eddie Lacy, James Starks. It's a question of, first of all, how many backs do they keep? And then the question is who is that third back? Is it Crockett? Is it Burks? Brandon Ross.
A lot of names.
And they kept 3 last year. You know it's going to be Lacy and Starks. The question is who's going to be that third back.
Niner is down. Rich, you and I were talking earlier about the first 2 games to you and I think people that watch his team, the Packers' 2nd, 3rd, and 4th teamers really were significantly better than the Browns and the Raiders' 2nd, 3rd, and 4th teamers.
I think that was pretty apparent when you watch the film.
I agree.
Really, when you watch the game. I mean, I think they're just. We talked to Mike McCarthy earlier. I just think that this is maybe the most depth and talent that they've had in a long time across the board on both sides of the ball. The offensive line, Mike said there's 10 or 12 players that he'd have no problem keeping. So they've got some really difficult decisions to make in the coming weeks.
3rd down and 5. Callahan, good slant, caught in stride. Cook is there, picks up 9. 3rd and 5, 1st down to the San Francisco 38. Cook has had a pretty good game.
And this is where Jared Cook is really going to help the Packers this year. When they split him out, put him in the slot, he's a real difficult matchup for linebackers and safety types. Very good route runner, very patient. Does a great job creating separation at the line of scrimmage.
Cook has caught 3, 2 on 3rd down to convert him to 1st and downfield. Oh, he's got Adams, and he had it, and then he dropped it. Boy, he had a tough catch last week against Oakland, a back shoulder throw, and this was a catch. It appeared to be a catchable ball.
Great read by Callahan, Kevin. This is actually his 4th read. He sees the flat, the crosser, the comeback. He passes all of them up to throw back across the field. He throws the post route and gives Devontae Adams a really good look at it. Just not able to squeeze it and pull it in.
Lucas Patrick, by the way, now playing that right guard. 2nd down and 10.
Got to make that difficult catch.
As you mentioned, a sophomore slump last year. Screen, Crockett, read well, brought down. Tony Girardetti, who was brought here when Jim Harbaugh was the coach, losing a yard back to the Niner 39.
This is important here. You may not get all of it, but 3rd and long, if you can pick up half of it, give Mason Crosby a chance to kick a field goal.
The Wisconsin Lottery presents the 2-minute warning. Packers scratch games are on sale now, with a bonus drawing for a private suite for 25 people at a 2017 Packers home game. Learn more at WILottery.com. Times are off the air conversations, Rich, are better than on the air, and we were talking about Callahan, just how impressed you were for a rookie free agent, a Division III quarterback, to make the reads he made and to get the ball in a position to score.
Yeah, this is really his fourth read. I mean, it starts with the flat, the tight end, then it's the comeback, then it's the crosser, the other tight end, and then he throws it all the way back across the field to the wide receiver. Devontae Adams has to make that catch. Callahan 5 of 6. Problem with the Packers tonight, Kevin, is 3rd and longs. They've been in a bunch of them.
Yes.
3rd and 10 or longer. This is the 4th one that they've had. They're 0 for 3 so far on 3rd and long.
3rd and 12, Crockett. Hard run, and it's down near the 32. You can see the pile that gets him, including Ronald Blair, the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year, and a rookie. They get 8 yards, and they get into field goal range if they so choose. And we'll find out. Each team had 3 timeouts, and now San Francisco has used their first. They're down to 2.
Obviously, a field goal situation during the regular season, sometimes in the preseason, these situations you decide to go for it. It looks like that's what the Packers are going to do. They're going to keep the offense out on the field.
Some good weapons out there too for Callahan. Coming up on the Toyota Halftime Report, Rod Burks had a chance to sit down earlier this week with Packers offensive lineman T.J. Lang, a Pro Bowl alternate for a couple years. We'll also check in with our local news around the states, where this broadcast goes to Iowa and Hawaii and Alaska, and certainly the great state of Wisconsin, parts of Illinois, Minnesota, maybe Nebraska. Yeah, Nebraska. Also check in with some first half highlights, all coming up on the Toyota Halftime Report.
You know, I make my home in Minnesota. There's a lot of Packer fans in Minnesota, as you know, Kevin.
There are.
You once made your home in Minnesota.
Yeah, not very long.
Not very long.
I learned better and I moved back to Wisconsin.
You had one winter in Minnesota and you said that's enough.
Well, it wasn't the winter. It was just that I miss my Packers.
That's it. But no, there's a lot of Packer fans in Minnesota.
There are.
I always get a lot of heat when I go through the airport with my Packer gear on. They don't like that up there in Minnesota.
I can understand that. Rich, this roster cut to 75 Tuesday is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and it's a painful process, I think, for the coaching staff. Mike McCarthy, he says it's the worst time of year for him and Ted Thompson. You draft these players, you recruit these players, spend a lot of time with them, and you have to make that difficult decision next Tuesday, the first of many.
4th and 4. Packers 1 of 1 on 4th downs tonight. Good block by Murphy. Time for Cook. He catches again. Another big catch, which converts to a first down. A couple 3rd down catches. That was on 4th down. He picks up 12. He's had a big night to the 20 of San Francisco, 1st and 10.
Kevin, he's a big target at 6'5", 254 pounds.
1st and 10. Crockett. Good cut. Barkley had a block and read well and brought down by Gerard Eddy. Gain of 2. Cook, 4 catches, 53 yards. Rich, you can already see the difference he makes at that position and then what he does after he catches the ball.
He has some suddenness to him, which I like at the line of scrimmage. And he's a very good slant runner. From a quarterback's perspective, Kevin, you love throwing that slant to a big body that can go in there and work in the middle of the field. He's got very good hands. He does a nice job catching the ball away from his body, and once he gets the ball in space, he can do some damage. He is a tough tackle in the open field. Look at Aaron Rodgers over there coaching up the rookie.
Well,
it's great to see.
Mike mentioned this today, that one of the great attributes of Aaron, which does not get talked about a lot, and kind of ironic actually with Rodgers and his start in Green Bay, is the way he mentors young quarterbacks.
And he said the mentorship has really helped Aaron, because they've gone back to some of the drills they have the younger quarterbacks, which really has helped Aaron with his fundamentals and mechanics, because he's doing some of the drills that he did in his 1st and 2nd year in the league.
Good point. 2nd down, 8. Callahan, and looking for Davis, almost had it. A lot of coverage on him, including former 1st-round pick Jimmy Ward.
Ooh, that's one Joe Callahan would love to have back. Gave Trevor Davis a chance, but just a little too much on that. Would have been a fantastic catch, but difficult catch. You see how he's really reaching and stretching for it. That's a tough catch.
He's throwing into the nickel. 3rd down 8. Packers with 2 timeouts. That was Murphy. We're talking about him.
False start. Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
He's a player who played at nearby Stanford. He won 3 Pac-12 titles for the Cardinal. He was a team captain. And Phil Steele, who writes about as comprehensive a college book as there is out there, had him as a 3rd-team All-American.
Good player, comes from a good system, and a similar system to what they run in in Green Bay and in San Francisco. Some of the verbiage and terminology.
3rd and 13, Callahan. Rogers, he's a local kid who played at Cal, and he spins inside the 10. He picks up 8 on 3rd and 13.
We'll go for it again.
Yep, now it'll be 4th and 5. Another timeout. San Francisco takes it. They've got 1. See Rogers, and you're talking about his work, Rich, with young quarterbacks, and of course he's got Hundley and he's got the 2 rookie free agents. And you asked Mike today, and I thought it was an interesting probe about how you keep Aaron stimulated, how you keep him in the game, and that's one way. Hey, work with these young quarterbacks, bring them along.
Yeah, and the other thing he said is that it's a little bit different now than maybe even 5 or 6 years ago in terms of, I always said, how do you stimulate a guy like that mentally to keep him? He sits in those meetings, Kevin. How many times has he heard the install of 2-jet flanker drive or 22 protection or whatever it is? He's heard it over and over again. But the way you stimulate him is you give him more responsibility, more ownership of the offense at the line of scrimmage. And that's what they do. You see him talking to the offensive line coach, James Campen. He is responsible for a lot that happens at the line of scrimmage. Running plays, passing plays, protections, audibles.
4th and 5. Packers are 2 of 2 on 4th down. Last time they got a 12-yard gain by Cook. Crockett remains into the nickel. Callahan 4th and 5. Good block by Murphy. Nice catch made. A beauty on a laser thrown into Davante Adams. Picks up 7. Has the first. Packers with 2 timeouts. 1st and goal at the San Francisco 7.
Really nice throw and catch there by the Packers, and Callahan trusted that Davante Adams was going to cross the face of the cornerback.
Cooley, Callahan. Nice lunging grab there by Albert and Davis is there, but a loss of a yard back to the 8.
Timeout, Packers.
You can see the growth of Callahan now in the first 2 games against Cleveland, where he started 16 of 23, 124 and a touchdown. Against the Raiders when he came in for the injured Hundley last week, Rich, 9 of 17. And tonight, he is 9 for 11.
Looked really sharp in that 2-minute drive, Kevin, in that first game against the Browns. And it's not too big for him. I mean, you can just see he's got great poise. He's very comfortable. He seems like he knows where he's going with the football. And the thing I like about Joe Callahan is when things break down around him, he doesn't panic. He seems to know where that quick answer throw is.
He's a Division III quarterback.
Yeah, but as Mike McCarthy said, Kevin, if he's a couple inches taller, he would have been drafted. I mean, he certainly has the skill set to play at this level.
We mentioned this last week. He was brought into camp because he's a scrambler, and the Packers' thinking was he'll help the defense get used to scrambling quarterbacks, and here he goes again. 2nd and goal at the 8 and thrown away with Adams covered in the back of the end zone by Reeser.
That's a good play.
Yes.
Throwing the ball away on 2nd down in this part of the field is not a bad decision. Just can't afford to take a sack.
Rogers giving some hand signals into his partner.
There's a guy that's totally into it. You see him telling other players over there what the play is. He's got the earpiece in.
Bruce Williams listening, and Hundley. So what is it? 3rd and goal at the 8. 14th play of the drive. Crockett, Barkley a block, gain of 3 near the 5. Stuck there, brought down, hit by DeForest Buckner, who was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year at Oregon and the 1st-round pick for San Francisco.
taking up the last time out here. Think about it. Make the call. Mike will ask Aaron, what do you like? What do you like in this situation, Aaron? But you know, you have that relationship with the quarterback. You've been through a lot together, and certainly you know, Aaron's got some ideas and suggestions in that part of the field as well.
You always thought, Rich, and I'll use your last stop with John Gruden in Oakland, you thought that relationship meant more to the team maybe than any other relationship between coach and player.
It's the lifeline of an organization, the head coach and really the play caller and the head coach and the quarterback. And I think, you know, I applaud Mike McCarthy for realizing he made a mistake, took back the play calling responsibilities last season. And I think it's going to help this football team in the long run. You know, and what Mike said was when he gave that up, he really gave away his ability to control the tempo and the pace of the game, and that's what the Packers do so well.
He thought he'd be better with tempo and pace, and he was actually worse. 4th and goal at the 5. He was worse when he wasn't calling the plays. Callahan, Crockett. And the defense of San Francisco holds, and that takes us to halftime. So close, and they can't get it in, and we remain tied at halftime. But the young quarterback learned a lot. Packers second teamers on that line, getting some important snaps. From the San Francisco Bay Area, this is the Packers Television Network. Tied at halftime here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon. Moments ago, our Lance Allen caught up with the coach on the sideline.
We're joined here by Mike McCarthy. And Mike, Aaron Rodgers, great adjustment on the touchdown toss. Did you see what you needed out of him in those 2 series?
Oh, definitely. I thought, you know, both series, you know, the mechanics, tempo, and we had the penalties on the first series. But yeah, I feel very good about where Aaron is.
He also connected with Jared Cook, and Jared Cook with a 3rd down catch, 4th down catch, really impressive tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Jared did some good things, and I mean, that's really what he needs. He needs to play, you know, with Aaron and our offense at, you know, at a high tempo, and you know, actually did a great job in there with Joe.
Mike, thanks for the time. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you, Lance.
All right, Mike McCarthy joining us live right here on the Packers TV Network.
Yeah, really good first half. Again, I like how the Packers came out running the football. Lacey, 7 carries, 45 yards rushing, including the long of 21. He looked sharp. The offensive line was terrific. And again, you just keep feeding him the football. That'll pay huge dividends for this offense. Defensively, Kevin, I thought they really played well. Did a nice job containing Colin Kaepernick, forcing him to throw the ball from the pocket. Did a nice job Nick Perry, Sam Shields getting their hands on some footballs, knocking them down the line of scrimmage. A very good first half performance on both sides of the football.
But you know, the defense, we talked about this in the open, the defense of Green Bay last week kept the Raiders out of the end zone. They did get a touchdown, Oakland did, on a blocked punt. 9 of the Raiders' 11 possessions lasted 5 or fewer plays. The Green Bay defense in the first half, we see it tonight against 2 NFL starting caliber quarterbacks in Gabbert and Kaepernick, have played well. I mean, really well.
I think when you talk to Mike McCarthy about the overall play of the defense in the preseason, he's very pleased. And I think there's a couple things. They're flying around. They're playing with great tempo and speed. They're playing faster. And they're finishing plays. And that's what he's talked about the entire spring and summer. Finishing on defense. And that's what we've seen from the Packers through the first 3 preseason games.
You may recall Green Bay won the flip of the coin to begin things, and they had to, they gave it to San Francisco with a kickoff. We had a penalty on San Francisco at the end of the first half, and it's being assessed right now. And thus, Green Bay looks like they're going to have a returnable kick. They've got Ty Montgomery and Trevor Davis deep end.
You get good starting field position to start the second half.
It's Montgomery who gets a little bit of a slip as he's out of the blocks and finds a seam. And look at him continue to go past the 30-yard line out to the Green Bay 33. A 33-yard return by Montgomery, who missed a lot of time last year with an ankle. The third quarter is sponsored by the Wisconsin Dental Association. Routine dental exams cost less per month than the average cell phone bill. Visit WDA.org to find a Wisconsin Dental Association dentist near you for affordable preventive care. Joe Callahan, who took the place of Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers played the first quarter, got him in for a touchdown with the pass to Cobb. Callahan played the rest of that second quarter. Begins the second half. Crockett will take it. Backup line is out there. Gain of 2. Ritchie takes it out to the Green Bay 35.
You know, we were talking with Mike McCarthy earlier today, Kevin. He talked about running the football. He likes the number of reps that they're getting through the first couple preseason games in terms of the rushes that they're dialing up. Talked about the pad level being better up front with the offensive line, even with the running backs getting a little bit lower. We talked about reducing the hitting area when you're carrying the football, particularly with Eddie Lacy, who's such a big back. So that's been the points of emphasis in the running game through the first couple preseason games.
Second down 8. Crockett with the block. Patrick with the block. Downfield for Davis. Just that close.
Little double move. Boy, Callahan and Davis just missing each other now for a second time. Play action. Davis is going to run a little double move, and Joe Callahan just misses him, those outstretched hands. He's got great speed, just got to give him a chance down the field. Callahan knows it.
I can see the growth, though, Rich, from game 1-2 to tonight, can't you?
Yeah, he really is throwing the ball well down the field.
Third down and 8.
Pretty good protection.
Blocked by Spriggs. It goes off to a player they want to see perform, Geronimo Allison. He's had a good camp. On 3rd and 8, he picks up 16 with the catch and run to the 48 of San Francisco and a first down.
This is really a nice job by Allison, the receiver, moving around, buying some time, giving Joe Callahan a chance to throw the football. Callahan, very impressive, Kevin, off the scramble through the first 3 preseason games.
You mentioned Spriggs. Good block there. First round, second round pick, and here is a spinning move and a loss of a yard. And Spriggs has got a club, it looked like, on that right hand, as you can see.
It's hard to block in this business with 2 hands. You try doing it with 1. It's, you know, particularly when you look at that right inside hand for a left tackle. That's your punch hand.
Played well against Cleveland, struggled against Oakland, went up against Khalil Mack, and then, of course, it's going to make any tackle look bad. Second down and 12. Crockett slips through into the secondary. And brought down by Smith. He tumbles to the 49er 42 with a gain of 8. The offensive line, Rich, that 7th, 8th, and 9th spot on the line, really in focus with Green Bay.
It really is, and I think it's the more you can do. We talk about it all the time. Can you be a backup center? Can you play both guard positions? Can you jump out and play the tackle position? Or can you do something in the kicking game? What can you do with short yardage and goal line situations? Can you be an extra tight end? So the more you can do up front gives you the best opportunity of making this team.
Taylor now playing that left guard. He was over at the right guard. He's close to a first down as Crockett, who was following the block of the aforementioned Taylor. And reading the Journal-Sentinel this week, you know that Taylor, who's 65, is a player that was pretty much on that block. He's on the fence, as they say, on the bubble.
Yeah, and every year they draft more players. You look at Spriggs and Murphy, and so obviously there's great competition there. I thought it was interesting when Mike told us today that 12 players. He said there's at least a dozen players along the offensive line that he have no problem putting on this football team. And you talk about teams that have a lack of depth and talent at the line positions. Packers aren't one of them. They've got a lot of players that don't make this team that will find themselves in another uniform in a couple weeks.
We mentioned Murphy had the good game against Oakland. He adds to the competition, the 7th, 8th, and 9th positions.
On the field with regard to forward progress. And a first down. Timeout.
They'll step aside. 11:43 in the 3rd. Cut down to 75 comes Tuesday. Hard decisions for Mike McCarthy and the Packers.
This Packers preseason game is sponsored by Wisconsin Lottery, Menards, Wisconsin Dental Association, Toyota, Mills Fleet Farm, UW Health, and Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
There's a look at Chip Kelly. He is the new coach here, leaving. He was fired from Philadelphia. And I guess not a great surprise that he was hired so quickly. But as you said, Rich, coming into the game, it's interesting to watch the speed of his offense, which was his calling card when he left Oregon to go to the Eagles a couple of years ago.
Yeah, there's no question about it. He had a lot of success in college at Oregon, had some success at Philadelphia with Nick Foles his first year, but obviously things didn't work out the last couple of years, failed to make the playoffs. I think it surprised some people that the Eagles maybe went in a different direction, but
there was a challenge here, by the way, for Kelly. They're checking to see if Crockett was able to carve the necessary yards. Bill Vinovich has looked and visited with New York, which is the new aspect. The NBA does it, and they do it in the NFL.
You might say he's a little bit short. It's like they're
maybe move the
first down markers back. They have to come out and measure maybe.
Kelly's smiling, so I guess he feels he's won the challenge. But you and I will be in New York for the NFL meetings in a couple days and get a chance to talk with Dean Blandino, who's in charge of NFL officiating. So he was short. They're moving the chains, although we've not gotten the verbal ruling from Vinovich. They're going to measure first. It looks like he's at least, well, I don't know. Let them hold off.
We'll say
the spot is accurate on the field. The chains on the opposite side were incorrectly spotted. We will now measure for first down.
That's never good. The chains are incorrectly positioned.
Well, it's the preseason. This
okay.
is what you got to work through the kinks.
No.
You know what I'm saying? This
You're
is
right. Hey, we talked earlier, Rich, about the Packers' second, third, and fourth teamers being really well respected around the NFL. There are 7 teams in the league represented here. Scouts watching the Packers. We mentioned 75 is what the roster cutdown will go to Tuesday. 1 from the CFL is here. A lot were in Green Bay first 2 weeks. A lot of these players are going to get cut from the Packers but picked up by other teams.
Yeah, and I also would think, Kevin, that a number of the teams that are here tonight will probably play either the Packers or the 49ers the first month of the season. So they're advanced scouting. They're looking at personnel. They're also looking at scheme. And a lot of money is spent every year in our league on scouting.
Yes.
College scouting, pro scouting, advanced scouting. But there's players here that tonight, as you mentioned, that this is it's an unbelievable opportunity, and to put some good plays out there on film, so that if they don't make the Green Bay Packers, that they have a chance with 31 other teams.
First down and 10. By the way, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a scout here, and the Rams have a scout here. Those are the opponents of these two teams opening weekend. Perillo, nice pursuit. Dante Johnson out of North Carolina State, 3 years in the league. No gain on the play. Perillo trying to make this team as a tight end.
There's some real competition there. It always seems like there's competition at the tight end position. Mike McCarthy, if he could, Kevin, I think he'd keep 6 of them. He's a former tight end himself.
Second down and 10. They bring in a fullback, and that is Alstevis Squirewell from Newburgh. Second and 10. Squirewell the block. Gain near the 38. Hit by a couple, including Johnson. Gain of a yard, and here are the names that are on the tight end list.
Well, I think great competition, but Jared Cook, I think, is going to be a real difference maker this year. I think he and Aaron Rodgers are just going to get off to a terrific start. They've lacked a little bit of that explosiveness, that speed, that vertical speed at the tight end position. Going back to when Jermichael Finley was here, they have it now once again with Jared Cook.
By the way, Cook 4 catches, 54 yards. Third down 9 here for Callahan. And tipped, incomplete. Looking for Geronimo Allison. Lynch may have gotten a hand. We're looking at Cook over there, and he had a very good first half. Made a lot of big plays. Rich, he's in his 8th season out of South Carolina. He was originally a 3rd-round pick by Tennessee. He's had 7 different quarterbacks in 7 years.
That's a problem. I mean, you know, you talk about all the different coordinators for quarterbacks, Kevin. How about when you're a tight end and every time you turn around, I mean, they never really had that quarterback in Tennessee. Never had the quarterback in St. Louis.
4th and 9. Allison got the nice leverage on Rashard Robinson, a rookie out of LSU. It is a gain of 10, and it is a first down. Green Bay has been terrific on 3rd down conversions and 4th down conversions. That was on 4th down. Really nice throw and catch there. And again, the ball comes out early. Really nice job by Allison, making sure he gets his depth on the route. That was on 4th and 9. So Allison on this drive catches of 16 and 10. And Mike McCarthy told us this morning we need to see 81 perform. He has answered. 1st and 10. Crockett. Good block inside by Lucas Patrick, the guard. Opens a gain of 9 to the 17 of San Francisco. 62, Patrick, very good block. A really nice run and cut there by Crockett. Talk about vision in the hole, the ability to put your foot in the ground and cut to the backside and get vertical. 12th play of the drive, 2nd and 1. Fake to Crockett. Blocked by Spriggs. That is a touchdown! Abradaris. Great play by the quarterback, Joe Callahan. 18-yard toss. This is a great throw by Joe Callahan. I mean, this is pretty good coverage on Abradaris, and this is just a terrific throw. He puts it in about the only spot he can. You see the play action. You see the patience. Now watch where he throws this football. I mean, that is a terrific throw by the rookie quarterback. How about Abradaris? He needs to show he can stay healthy. He has done that. He's had a very good camp. Probably best positioned in the slot. A favorite. He played for the Badgers. Now he's playing for the Packers. It's a Crosby extra point. Jared Abradaris comes up with a nice play. He played in 10 games last year, had 9 receptions. Callahan on the money. Abradaris was born in West Allis. First team All-State high school quarterback. Watoma is where he was. They were Division IV state champions. Great athlete, obviously. Gatorade Track Athlete of the Year. And he is a Packer that they've got a lot of hope for. Special teams and otherwise. He's on teams after getting that 18-yard touchdown pass from Callahan. 12-play, 67-yard drive. With the return here is Andrew White. Barrington was hit. Gunter was there. Abradaris in on it. 14-yard return. Packers have gotten 2 touchdown passes tonight. One by Rogers, one by Callahan. They've got the lead.
14-7. Packers leading the 49ers here in the 3rd quarter. Brian Balaga, yes, this is live TV, Brian. So I know you're a little nervous.
Yeah,
you offensive lineman, you never know what to say, do you?
No, unheard of. We don't get spoken to. Just don't talk to us. We're just out there.
That first drive, a little bit ragged, but second drive with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. How good did it feel?
What the heck?
And there's David Bakhtiari.
No, it felt good to get out there with Aaron. First time this preseason, and it was good to get out there and get, kind of get the way he's going to, call the game and run the game and get out there and move around. And, obviously we'll go back. I think we had a couple penalties on that first drive, but so we can clean up. But we got into that second one, got in a little bit of a groove, and we're able to put it in the end zone.
How good do you guys feel as an offensive line? Do you have a little bit of unfinished business from last year?
I think so. I mean, I think we feel pretty good as a unit. I mean, I think we've had a pretty good preseason. Always things to clean up, always things to correct, but I think as a unit overall, I think we've liked the body work we put together through the first few games, and get another week of practice under our belt here, another preseason game, and get into the opener.
Ryan, thanks for the time and good luck this season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Brian Balaga joining us right here live on the Packers TV Network. Guys, back to you.
You got it, thank you. And here is a pass from new quarterback Jeff Driscoll. Hits Devin Kajust, a rookie free agent out of Stanford. Driscoll was drafted in the 6th round by San Francisco. He's out of Louisiana Tech. He had played at the University of Florida, where he started 21 of 29 games for the Gators, graduated, had a year of eligibility, went to Louisiana Tech. There was a gain of 2. Good look at Brian Balaga moments ago with Lance, the former Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year at Iowa. First round pick by the Packers. 2nd down and 8. Driscoll. Right on the screws and dropped by Jerome Simpson, a veteran. Simpson, 7 years in the NFL.
These younger players on defense, Kevin, as they make substitutions, especially on 3rd down, you got to hustle. You got to get lined up. I mean, the play, you can see the 49ers, they're waiting for the official to spot the ball. They're ready to go.
3rd down 8. Pennell is back in there on that defensive line. Fackrell is in there too, a drafted player by the Packers. So Nate and bobbled and dropped. Gunter was there. Dorleant was there. And the punting unit comes on the field for San Francisco.
Good series for the Packers on
sure
defense.
Was. Here's Bradford. He's making some noise, isn't he, Rich? He's had 2 good games against Cleveland and the Raiders.
He has. And again, we started the show, Kevin, talking about the challenges that the Packers are going to have when they make this first cut on Tuesday, getting down to 75 in terms of, what players to keep. A lot of competition at the linebacker position, both inside and outside.
Pinion to punt, gets it high, gets it long. Davis is under it, waves it off wisely, but it went out of bounds at about the 10. That was and there's a flag, 2 flags thrown right around midfield. They say the ball was out of bounds at the 12, 47-yard punt. Excellent hang time on the play, and penalty flags to deal with. Team will fly back to Green Bay. They thought they'd get into Austin Straubel Airport about 6:45, 7 o'clock this morning.
It's a long flight.
Tomorrow morning, I should say, it is long.
Especially when you play a lot of snaps and you're banged up.
Yeah.
Here in the kick. Holding. Receiving team number 36. That penalty is declined. After the play was over. Personal foul. Late hit. Receiving team number 58. After this is the goal. Green Bay keeps the ball. First down.
Barrington.
Timeout.
Timeout, 7.5 to play in the 3rd. Another look at Callahan. He's looked good. He's passed well. He just threw a touchdown pass moments to go to Abradaris. We'll step aside in Santa Clara.
Well, Joe Callahan has continued to look impressive in preseason. I always like when he moves around, he keeps the ball in a throwing position. He's been very accurate. A couple big throws on 3rd down, on 4th down. 13 of 19 for 102 yards tonight and a touchdown. This was a great throw, great concentration. Putting it really in the only spot he possibly could for the touchdown.
He was for 5,000 yards last year at Wesley. It's a gain of 3 right there, and it's out to the 9 to Lance Allen.
And we're here with Sam Shields. And what's it like being out there as a lockdown corner on that island every once in a while?
Man, I mean, on the island it's tough out there, but that's the name of the game. One-on-ones. I beat him, he beat me, type of thing. So that's what I love to do. And Don Capers put us in a situation that we got to handle. So I love it.
How loaded is that secondary? You, Randall, Rollins. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
I mean, we deep back there. The young guys that's coming up, they still learning. Like I said, I'm still learning as well. And each day we're getting better. So only thing can do is get better. So we're taking one day at a time and one game at a time. We'll get one.
And I got to ask you, you were a former wide receiver in college. Would you ever bend Mike's ear and want to say, hey, put me in for a play at receiver?
Oh, sometimes I try to throw it in his ear or try to do a route so he can see it. But hopefully one day we'll get some trick plays in. Never know.
Sounds good, Sam. Thanks for the time. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, Sam Shields joining us live right here on the Packers TV Network. Kevin, Rich.
Great, thank you very much. Pro Bowler back in 2014, Sam Shields. This is Crockett on 3rd and 7. Ball is loose, gain of 5. A big stick on the play from Rashard Robinson, the LSU rookie. And the punting unit will get back out there.
Was a big hit. You can see him holding that left shoulder.
Right, that is something to
got sandwiched.
Look at.
Watch this. Boom, boom. Oof. And here's another one right here.
Running backs have not. Oh, he's in pain. He is in pain. Mass State a punt. Had a good one the last time. Winded is back here. High. And they'll let it bounce at the 50. He's going to get about 13 yards worth of roll. 49-yard punt. Crockett is injured. We'll try to update that with Lance. Just under 6 to play in the 3rd. Kenzie over there taking a look at the injured player. Crockett looked like his shoulder was messed up, and they're
doing all those strength tests on the shoulder.
Right.
Hands, forearm.
Driscoll is the quarterback with the 1st and 10. The rookie. Nice, dropped in the play by Bruce Miller. Rich, the secondary for Green Bay, and Lance Allen just alluded to it. The secondary for the Packers with incredible competition. Guys like Marwin Evans, who's out of Milwaukee, Oak Creek High School. Josh Hawkins, who is a college walk-on, great speed and length.
Kentrell Price.
Kentrell
really
Price.
A nice preseason. He's earned
Please
more
reset the game clock
opportunities.
to 5 minutes and 52 seconds.
He's a player that Mike signaled out to us this morning in the meeting.
But special teams-wise, Dorland,
all of them,
they've got to start.
All of these players, the ones that are going to make the team that aren't starters, are going to have to be valuable contributors in special teams. I mean, that's how you're going to make this team. It's just too competitive otherwise. I mean, you look at the corners: Randall, Shields, Rollins, Gunter. You know, and it's, you know, obviously the 2 safeties: Morgan Burnett, Clinton Dix, Micah Hyde, Chris Banjo. I mean, it's some tough decisions to make in that secondary.
2nd down, 10. Look out, Tuck. Because flying right at you is Leandre McCray, who was a free agent signing from the Denver Broncos, where he was a star on special teams and trying to fortify teams and be a backup on that linebacking core, second and a loss of 8.
Boy, he just beats the left tackle right away. I mean, Eric Pierce has got no chance.
He's a veteran too.
Against McCray. Yeah, he was a guy that played in Buffalo. Another 3rd and long for the 49ers. They've had a bunch of them tonight.
3rd and 8. Here comes McCray again. It's incomplete. They were going for the running back, Mike Davis. On the move. Flag is down at the 33.
When McCray knows he's got a mismatch at the left tackle position.
So Rich is wrapping up the secondary conversation. Battle for the 5th and 6th cornerbacks for sure, and for the number 4 safety. And special teams will be a big part of their job description come regular season time.
And there's always that decision of how many defenders do you keep in the secondary based on, you know, where you have a need somewhere else. Could be on the other side of the football.
2 fouls on a play, both on the offense. Ineligible receiver, number 66. Pass interference, number 13. Both penalties decline. Result of the play, 4th down.
Good series there from McCray.
Sure was.
You always tell that story of Tyrone Wheatley, a running back we had in Oakland, wasn't going to make the team to the last preseason game. Then he went off, and that was the game where everyone said, "How can you not keep this guy?" He went on to be a 1,000-yard rusher for us.
San Francisco punting for the 6th time in 7 possessions, and here is Trevor Davis back at the 17. Grab from behind, taken down by Blake Bell, 84. He was at one time at 84 down there. He was a quarterback at Oklahoma. His dad played in the NFL. Mike Bell played for Kansas City.
Thanks a lot, bud.
There's a look at you. Let's go to Lance Allen on the sideline.
Yeah, Kevin, a few injuries tonight, and yeah, you really don't want to see that in the third preseason game or any preseason game, but Dr. Pat McKenzie looking at the left arm and shoulder of John Crockett. No update on that as of yet. Chris Banjo with a hamstring and J-Ron Elliott with a hamstring tonight as well, so we'll keep you updated on the injury front, but obviously something you don't want to see, especially with a lot of these guys fighting for roster positions in this contest. Kevin Rich, back up to you.
That's good stuff. Thank you very much. Running back is Brandon Burks, rookie free agent out of Troy. Like his pass protection skills, and they think he can run. Corkscrews his way up to the 26. And he picks up 4. Patrick is playing the right guard, and they've got Lane Taylor playing the left guard. Spriggs remains the tackle on the left side. Murphy, drafted in the 6th round out of Stanford, is the right tackle, and the center is Barkley, who can play all 5 positions on that offensive line.
And that helps the player. You know, we talk about the more you can do, position versatility. He can play every position along the offensive line, including center. That's huge for a player like Barkley.
Burks remains 2nd down and 6. Blocked by Murphy, blocked by Patrick, then closing the door, J.B. McBride. On the defensive line, gain of a yard, up to the 27.
When you have a player like Don Barkley, you know, maybe you don't need to keep the extra offensive lineman. You have a guy like that can play a couple different positions, can play on the right side, can play on the left side. Smart guy that can do a number of different things. Obviously, he plays the center position. It gives them a lot of flexibility when it comes to making that final roster cut down to 53.
3rd and 5. Watch that guy at the top of your screen, Geronimo Allison, who is coming off a very good series in a
Offense number 16. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Herb Waters. There's Allenson, who had catches of 16 and 10 a couple series ago in a series that was 12 plays long and an 18-yard touchdown pass to Aberderis, finishing it off.
Boy, both of these teams have been in a boatload of 3rd and longs tonight. Packers have had a bunch in the first half, another one here, and like every time we look at the 49ers, they're in the 3rd and long.
3rd and 10. Burks in the backfield. Look out. They got it on Murphy. Hit by Marcus Rush. Marcus Rush, number 44 for the 49ers, against Denver last week, had 3 sacks and 4 hurries against the Broncos. He's out of Michigan State.
Really nice spin move.
He's a heck of a player.
Yeah, he had a great game last week, as you mentioned, Kevin. Just catches Kyle Murphy off guard. Murphy not prepared for the spin move and the rush up inside.
Here comes Peter Mortel. It's a punt. Gets off a terrific punt. Hang time, length, and grabbed at the 34-yard line by DeAndre White. Peter had a couple early in the game, had a good one right there. 50-yard punt, 7-yard return. And there is a look at Kyle Murphy. Had a concussion a couple weeks ago. Just week 2. That's the game against Cleveland. And at 6'6", his long reach is something the Packers really like. All rights to this broadcast tonight are reserved. And any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written permission of the NFL is prohibited unless your son is on the field. Then if mom and dad, they can record it and they can do whatever they want with the tape. I know 2 people that are watching this game and recording everything. Driscoll, nice throw. Good catch. Blake Bell, 50-yard line. The former Oklahoma quarterback who they transitioned to tight end, 11-yard pickup. He's a big kid and a 1st down catch at midfield. Driscoll. He takes it himself. Drilled in the secondary and brought down by Whitehead out of Auburn. Gain of 4 to the Green Bay 46.
Picking the tempo up here a little bit. Getting the plays in and out quicker.
2nd down and 6. Driscoll. And that's caught by the running back, and Mike Davis out of South Carolina works his way down to the Green Bay 36. Jacob Evade on the catch and run, a first down for the Niners.
And the way they call the plays is Chip Kelly calls the play to the quarterback. The receivers coach signals the play to the receivers. The running back coach does the same to the running backs. And the offensive linemen all look over to the offensive line coach. So everyone has a role in calling the play.
Nickel secondary, 1st and 10 handoff, and this is the elusive Davis. Showing some nice moves and drilled by Robertson Daniel.
A couple missed tackles there, a couple missed opportunities. Now you see Chip, he'll call the play. Look at all the different coaches. He'll start signaling the play in.
So a lot of camouflage, a lot of fake calls, in other words.
Well, some of them are real. I mean, obviously Chip's calling it in, and then the receivers coach is very active. He's telling the receivers what to do, and they're not very lengthy calls. They're just code words.
Mackinton Dorleant is down. He's out of Northern Iowa. Rookie free agent, missed 2 weeks of training camp earlier with a hamstring, and there it looks like another leg injury for him.
See the one coach with the blue wristbands on, the other coach, they're all signaling them in.
Second and 1. There's a lot of moving parts. Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
That's how they call it. That's how they get as many plays called during the course of a game.
Second down 1. And Driscoll keeps it himself inside the 15, chased by Fackrell. And it's a gain of 12 for Driscoll. I saw Driscoll last week. He looked pretty good, and he looks pretty good tonight.
Yeah, they just signed Christian Ponder, the Viking quarterback, because Kaepernick couldn't throw. So
Ponder looked good last week. He was 7 of 8. 1st and 10. This is a run. Legitimately, DeJuan Harris, we know who he is. With the Packers in the past, gain of 6 by DeJuan Harris, 3 years out of Troy.
Well, the defense has to pick it up a little bit. They're not getting off their blocks quickly enough.
Second down and 4.
A difficult time getting lined up as well.
Rich, the pros and cons of running an offense like this from an offensive standpoint for a quarterback.
Ball start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, what it does is because everything comes in so quickly, it limits the volume, right? So you can't have as many plays, as many runs, and concepts in the passing game. And as a quarterback, Kevin, I don't like it from the standpoint that it doesn't give you as much freedom and flexibility at the line of scrimmage to get into the right play. They call it. They've got built-in answers they believe. But where it really hurts them, I think where it really catches up to them, is in third down situations. That's where they struggled in Philadelphia. That's where I think they'll struggle here. They don't change protections and plays very often in this offense.
DeJuan Harris, second down 9, weaving his way back to the tackle, down to the 4, close to a first down. Flag.
Holding. Offense number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Let me ask you this, Rich. I can see it working in college. If you're at an Oregon and you recruit,
well, you got 100 players.
Well, yeah,
you got 90 guys that can play on game days. You can't do that in the NFL.
Well, no, and plus the speed of the game in the NFL is so different than college.
Right.
You're talking about Oregon, where you're getting 4- and 5-star kids. It's a little bit different at this level.
It's a lot different, and I just think that you can never call the perfect play, and you got to have a quarterback in this day and age that can get you in and out of bad plays.
All right, third quarter has come to a close. Packers have gotten 2 touchdown passes, one by Rodgers, one by Callahan. We go to the 4th, Green Bay by 7 on the Packers television network. Packers a season ago were 10-6. This San Francisco team was 11-5, 32nd in points scored. 31 offense was their ranking. Trying to change things with Chip Kelly.
5-11.
I said, I thought I said
11-5. You said.
I did. I said that. I'm sorry. It's getting late. 5-11. Excuse me. 5.
They weren't that good.
5. No, they were not. Excuse me. 2nd and 18. DeJuan Harris. And he was brought down by Reggie Gilbert. He was a defensive lineman in Arizona. Now he is a linebacker. Gain of 5 on the play, and it takes him down to the Green Bay 17.
A lot of turnover on this roster the last couple of years.
Yes.
Only 4 starters remain from their 2012 team that reached the Super Bowl.
3rd and 13. Driscoll blocked by Pierce. DeJuan Harris. Bradford with the miss. I think Hawkins had a miss. And out of bounds, he's driven by Dean Lowry, the rookie out of Northwestern. Gain of 9.
A really nice move here by Juwan Harris. Watch this first miss. 1, 2. Some real quickness after the catch. Got to make those tackles.
San Francisco is going to try a field goal. By veteran Phil Dawson, top 16 all-time scorer in the NFL. Many years with Cleveland. Came here a couple years ago from the Browns. 26-yard field goal, 3 on the board for the Niners. Come in 1-1. Green Bay's preseason record 2-0. Dawson from 26, 4-point game. Our fourth quarter clock at 13:47. So Green Bay holds San Francisco to a 26-yard field goal. Aaron Rodgers, watching from the sideline, played the first quarter and into the second. He threw a 6-yard touchdown pass to Cobb. Led an 8-minute drive, a 14-play Rodgers-led drive. Randall Cobb was big on that drive as Rodgers hit him for 10 and 16. Rodgers was 4 of 5 on the drive. Green Bay tied the game at that time at 7. And then earlier here in the second half, we saw an 18-yard touchdown pass to Aberdarius from quarterback Joe Callahan. And to an E goes Montgomery. They want him to get a lot of reps.
Well, some good work for Aaron Rodgers tonight. His really first opportunity this preseason. He came out, he looked sharp, good movement, good accuracy, as is usually the case with Aaron Rodgers. Great command of the offense, anticipation, delivery quickness, his ability to find the open receiver in critical situations.
How about how quickly he got that ball out, Rich, on that
He's
touchdown
amazing.
pass?
You know, if you really study him in the gun, in the quick game, a lot of times he's throwing the ball without the laces, which is amazing to me, but I don't think there's a quarterback in the game that gets the ball up and out as quick as Aaron Rodgers.
Callahan remains. Burks is the running back. Crockett hurt his shoulder earlier, and here comes the rookie free agent on the move looking for Allenson. Geronimo Allison, who is a rookie free agent out of Illinois, who had receptions of 16 and 10 yards on that Callahan-led touchdown drive to begin the second half for Green Bay. 2nd down and 10.
I think if you're a young quarterback, there's no better place to learn than Green Bay.
Why do you say
think, well, Mike McCarthy, you've got Tom Clements, you've got Alex Van Pelt, Edgar Bennett, the offensive coordinator, you've got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, is there a better place to learn than this group? When you think about all the quarterbacks that they've worked with, all the success that they have had coaching that position.
2nd down and 10. This is Burks. Rookie free agent Troy, no gain on the play.
I mean, even if Joe Callahan doesn't make the 53-man roster, there's a good chance he sticks around the practice squad and really gains valuable experience in the classroom, in the practice field, learning and watching behind the master. And I just think this is a great place for a young quarterback to learn his craft.
With Hundley injured and some uncertainty about that ankle,
there's a chance.
Probably no surprise that Callahan is getting all these snaps right now.
No,
and
there's a
not
chance.
Marquise Williams.
And there's a chance that maybe he makes the roster. Kevin, maybe they keep 3 quarterbacks. You never know.
May not have a choice. 3rd and 10. Hit as he throws, and he finds Perillo with a great grab. The tight end picks it up. Gain of 9. He's up to the 35 and very close to a first down. Let's see where the spot will put him. Very close, but shy, I think, by a half yard. Perillo has really got a good pair of hands, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does a nice job catching the ball away from his body. And look at Ted Thompson right there on the back shoulder of Mike McCarthy. He's watching closely to see how these young players perform.
Now and here comes Burks. Got the first down as he slices for 5, and he's up near the 40-yard line. That will serve him well. What they liked about him early on was his pass block, in addition to his running. And that was a good run right there for a first down on 4th and inches.
That's what you do when you don't have a fullback. You put a tight end and a receiver in the backfield in short yardage situations.
How about Mike on 4th down tonight? Mike McCarthy is 5. The offense is 5 of 6, converting 4th down to 1st. 1st and 10. With a couple tight ends, it's Burks. Gain of one at the end of last year when they were having all kinds of receiver injury issues. They really got kind of in that two-back set, and they kind of got into a little rhythm, didn't they, Rich?
Well, Mike believes in running the football, and I think, you know, it's one thing to talk about, it's another thing to do it. And they've really come out in the preseason and tried to emphasize the running game. And I think it starts with Eddie Lacy and, of course, James Starks, John Crockett, Brandon Burks, and everyone that touches the football. There's, you know, it's not just the offensive line. It's the tight ends involvement in the running game, the perimeter people, the wide receivers to be able to block, and the quarterback to make sure you're not running in the wrong situation.
Whoa.
Well, they had a screen called there.
They did 2nd and 9, and he has to take a licking that time from Will Redmond.
You know, they get the corner blitz off the edge, and they've got a screen out the back door, and can't take the sack in that situation. Callahan's got to throw that one away. Just throw it to the ground, although I would say this, that he didn't have much of a chance. Kelvin Taylor is on him before he can even throw it away. Had some communication breakdowns in protection here tonight.
3rd and 19. Important snaps here for Brandon Burks with Crockett and an injury, the extent of which we don't know, but he's out of the game. He's been looked at by the personnel, and Green Bay is going to take a timeout with a 3rd and 19 coming up. Mike's got that call sheet right there. It's a couple pages long in the preseason. Regular season about 8 pages long.
That's amazing.
It's huge.
That's the difference. Look at that call sheet and compare it to what Chip Kelly has on the other side. It's not even close.
We'll step aside in Santa Clara. Timeout. Quarterback Callan going over to Mike McCarthy on the sideline. 3rd and 19.
Tough spot here, 3rd and 19.
That call sheet is extended. Mike takes great pride in that call sheet, doesn't he?
Spends a lot of time each week putting it together.
A lot of detail.
A lot of bad things can happen on 3rd and 19. Sack, fumble, interception.
They need the 50. Here they come. Callahan gets away. Got a block from Murphy. Going downfield. Oh, he's got Allison. Oh, he's got the ball. What a catch. Down at the 20. They say no. Yep, they say he's at the 19. How about that scramble by Callahan? It's a 51-yard completion to the 19-yard line of San Francisco.
And that's really what makes Callahan special, his ability to keep plays alive. Look, they blitz him, he avoids the sack, he keeps his eyes downfield, the ball in the throwing position, and he gives the receiver a chance to make a play. And a really nice job by Allison coming back to the football.
Good block by Lucas Patrick as well. Dante Johnson was beaten. Burks, 1st and 10.
Nice
the stutter step, he's going to go! He's going to go for 6! Huge play for this young free agent rookie, Brandon Burks from Troy. Trying to make an impression. And what a great change of direction move for a touchdown. 19-yard run.
Wow, what a great run by Brandon Burks. Look at the patience right here. Stops. Now watch him. Look at he's going to cut all the way out the back. He just has a great feel. Just runs to daylight. He has a nose for the end zone. Terrific run by Burks.
Born in Enterprise, Alabama. He went to Daleville High School in Alabama. Running back, he lettered in basketball and baseball and football. There's another former Green Bay running back who played at Troy, and he's in this game tonight. Juan Harris. Crosby will convert. How about the 51-yard completion to Allison? And then Burks with just a terrific move, cutting, and flies into the end zone. So there's Burks. Another Troy running back in Green Bay camp. There was Juan Harris a couple years ago. There's Callahan, who has really been fun to watch. And you were saying during the break, he reminds you of another quarterback who was about that size and about that ability.
Yeah, Doug Flutie. I mean, he makes a lot of Flutie-like plays, Kevin, off the scramble. He made a lot of them in college at Wesley.
From the 2.
Ooh.
Andrew White, boy, you can hear that and feel that all the way up here. We're about 8 stories up, 15-yard return. Geronimo Allison, 3 catches and 78 yards. Allison has caught 2 on 3rd down, 1 on 4th down. Callahan just dazzling with some moves to stay alive on this play.
Just the awareness to know that he's got a receiver on the backside of the formation and to give him a chance to make a play. I mean, it's pretty good coverage, but Allison just makes the better play on the ball in the air. But I like the fact that we've seen Joe Callahan, the rookie tonight, Kevin, on a number of occasions work all the way through the progression to find the 3rd and 4th receiver in the concept.
Packers were offside on the kickoff, and so they mark off another 5, and they go 1st and 10. The quarterback is Christian Ponder, former 1st-round pick by the Vikings. On the move, Ron Ham was in his sights. There's a flag thrown on the play. Ponder was just signed. Played well, though, against Denver last week. Christian was 7 of 8, 87 yards.
Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Colin Kelly, and of course, that last name rings a bell. It should. His wife is one of the top reporters over at ESPN.
Yep. You know, Ponder,
Sam Ponder.
like a lot of other young quarterbacks, Kevin, you know, sometimes they're forced to play before they're ready, and they don't have a lot of success, and then, you know, organization gives up on them and they have to go somewhere else and start over. And I think, you know, we've seen a number of quarterbacks like that in this game. I mean, you look at Blaine Gabbert, very similar situation. Played on a very bad team in Jacksonville. Had a 5 and 30, I think 5 and I wrote it down here, 5 and 22 record. You know, you have that type of record, they run you out of town. Ponder had his struggles in Minnesota as well.
2nd and 19. Ponder goes underneath. They go to the running back Mike Davis, and then he is met by a couple. He picks up 11 on the play. One of the hits by Cooter. Let's go downstairs to Lance.
All right, Kevin, we're here with one of the stars of the night, Jared Cook. And I tell you what, Jared, a 3rd down catch, a 4th down catch, a catch with Aaron Rodgers. You had quite a night tonight.
Yeah, we're still just kind of trying to build our chemistry and just trying to get better each week.
That August 9th practice where you came back and worked with Aaron Rodgers is almost the stuff of legend now, where you're working in the red zone drill and caught a number of touchdown passes. Is that what it takes to kind of build that rapport and kind of get to where you are tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's communication, verbal and nonverbal, and us just talking through things and working together. It's all about timing and just building our timing and just knowing where I'm going to be and me knowing where he's going to put the ball.
How excited are you of the potential of this offense with you and Richard Rodgers when you go 2 tight end?
That's exciting. It gives us a lot more options and a lot more possibilities for us to be there when it counts. So I'm excited to see what they're going to put together for us.
Got to ask you one more thing. I've seen your hops. You were a national champion in basketball. Can you still ball? Can you still hoop?
It's my first love. You never lose it. It's like riding a bike, baby.
Jared, thanks for the time and nice meeting you, and good luck this season.
Thank you, Lance.
All right, Jared Cook joining us right here live on the Packers TV Network. Great night for him tonight. Kevin Rich.
He's one of 5 tight ends with 35 or more receptions over the last 5 years, included in that group Gronkowski, Gates, Olsen down in Carolina. Jared Cook, 2nd down and 10. Ponder hit and brought down. Brian Price got a hand on him. Ringo came in and finished him off. Ringo had a sack in the Cleveland game.
Christian Ringo not giving up on the play. See the initial pressure there. Look at Ringo. He's getting double teamed, then he finds a way to come off and get the sack.
Christian Ringo, one of those players that with no Clark tonight, Ringo, Anderson, Price, they are in the spotlight in terms of trying to fortify that middle. 3rd and 14 for Christian Ponder. Ooh. Oh, it's picked off, grabbed on the play by Evans. There he goes. He runs the 40 and 4.4. He's a rookie free agent from Utah State, from Oak Creek High School in Milwaukee, and he comes up with a big-time interception.
Not a very good throw by Ponder. He's late with the throw, and this is just too easy for Evans. And he holds it way too long and actually throws it behind the intended receiver. this is just too easy. I mean, Evans, he had a little bit more room. Kevin, he might have scored.
Is this secondary loaded or what? And what the scouts were saying last week is that not only does he, and they're bringing a new quarterback in Marquise Williams, excuse me, for Green Bay, but what they said about Evans is that he loves to hit, he's a terrific tackler, and he's a 4-4 guy and can move from that safety ridge up and do a lot of damage. And a guy like that, those qualities are in high demand in the NFL.
And he's got very good ball skills as well when the ball's in the air. I mean, he's a guy that will attack it. And you can see looks very effortless with that interception and that run afterwards.
Feel great for that kid. It took him a while, a couple junior colleges, and bounced around just a little bit. He's part of a secondary which is deep and young and fast and talented. And that is just after the top 4 guys. You put Gunner in that group with Rollins and Clinton Dix. Of course, Demarius Randall. I mean, my goodness.
It's a hard football team to make.
I mean, especially there.
And I say that with all due respect. I mean, all the teams in the league. I mean, this is the best of the best. This is professional football. But this is a hard football team to make. I mean, they've been to 7 straight years. They've made it to the postseason. You know, it's a veteran football team. It's a team that does a great job drafting and developing young players. You look at those challenges there. They got to cut the roster to 75 on Tuesday. That final cut will be September 4th after the last preseason game, and there'll be some sleepless nights for Mike McCarthy and Ted Thompson as they try and figure out who the best 53 are for the 2016 Green Bay Packers.
The new quarterback is Marquise Williams, the rookie free agent of North Carolina. Handoff here goes to Brandon Ross. He led the Big Ten a season ago out of Maryland, did 46 Ross in yards per rush at 6.5 a carry. He picks up 2 right there at 2nd down and 8. Played at Maryland. He's cut by Minnesota in mid-May, and he's fast, Rich. He's 4.4 in the 40.
Speed kills at that position.
2nd down and 8. There's a nice defensive play turned in by Shane Scove, who is out of Stanford. Loss of 2, back to the 39 of the Niners.
Look at Brandon Ross, his numbers. Maryland now a team in the Big Ten.
Third down and 10. Williams, he's going to go deep. Looking for Jamal Johnson out of Alabama State. One of a talented group of wide receivers in camp. It's over his head. Punting unit comes out there. Young Peter Mortel will lead him. Ron Zook, the special teams coach, Rich, has been alternating in practice at least this week. He had Mastay punt all the punts on Monday, and Mortel punt all day Tuesday. And tonight they've alternated as well.
And Peter Mortel got the start. Kevin, he punted. I didn't think he had the first 2 punts. And it's hard to find your rhythm. You know, as a punter, you get a couple punts, and then the other guy goes in for, you know, a couple series, which could be, you know, the better part of a quarter and a half.
You're going to try to keep this inside, and beautiful English, great punt. He's terrific inside the 20-yard line. If you haven't read the story on Mortel, Dan Pompey of Bleacher Report wrote one a couple days ago that is worth.
Great article.
Every Packer fan should read the story. He sleeps at home in the same bedroom that he grew up in. He's got a poster
on the wall. How about the bike? You know, as a kid, he grew, you know, obviously he grew up a big Packer fan. Was one of the kids that rode his bike over to the training camp practices every day, and you know, this is a dream come true for the young punter, and he's just doing everything in his power to try and make this a difficult decision for the Green Bay Packers.
You told the story. His dad is the timekeeper at Lambeau Field, a banker in Green Bay, Jerry Mortel. That's a gain of 1. Here's another interesting tidbit. His mom is Ellen Bertrand Mortel. Bertrand's was the big sporting goods store in Green Bay back in the day. They would supply the Packers with all their equipment from Rydell.
How about that?
And Mr. Bertrand's granddaughter Ellen is married to Jerry, who's Peter's mom.
Small world.
Oh, and down he goes. Ponder on 2nd and 9, devoured by Tyler Cooter, a rookie free agent out of Idaho State. Also hit in there by Reggie Gilbert, who's playing linebacker after being a defensive lineman at Arizona.
Well, really good pressure, really, from inside and outside.
Cooter got him. 3rd sack, Rich. Packer defense continues to play well.
And they just roll bodies through there, and they get the same production and consistency. It's been really impressive through the first 3 preseason games.
3rd and 18. Here's Harris, and he is drilled by Daniquez Brown.
And Kevin, once again tonight, you mentioned it earlier, as you and I have been watching the first 2 preseason games against the Cleveland Browns and the Oakland Raiders. I mean, when you look at the 2s and the 3s, I mean, the Packers, they just dominate these teams. I mean, it really gets to we're not talking about the starters. We're talking about the second-line players of the Green Bay Packers have absolutely dominated the competition.
5th 3 and out by Green Bay's defense. They intercepted Ponder the last time. 3 and out right here. Pinion to punt, and it's not good. Davis, the rookie, waves it off. It bounces by midfield, as you see, and Green Bay is going to have some nice beginning field position with 3:07 to play. 52-yard punt by Pinion with a nice roll at the end.
A lot of positives when you look at the film on tomorrow. It started with Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb on the 2nd possession. Aaron didn't look at all rusty tonight, real sharp, and this was a terrific throw and catch off the scramble. A really nice job there by Callahan finding Aberderis, and then this run. This was just great instincts in the hole by Brandon Burks. Real nice finish there and some real poise by the young quarterback. Made some big-time throws once again tonight.
1st and 10. This is Brandon Ross. We've called the name Lucas Patrick a couple times tonight. He's playing left guard right now, number 62. And he has had a nice game, and probably further complicates when they pick the 7th, 8th, and 9th positions on that offensive line. You can see he played at Duke and
won a lot of football games at Duke. Yeah. They've won. I think they've won more games in the last 3 years than that school has in their.
Well, you know who their head coach is down there. He was a buddy of Peyton Manning.
Really good head coach. My buddy's a defensive coordinator there. That's
that's right.
I know a little bit about the Duke program. They've done a great job down there.
2nd and 11. You and I could not get into Duke. Here's Ross. We couldn't even spell Duke. That was a problem with us. No gain on the play. But Patrick is really, like I said, he had the hand injury in camp. He has, even with the hand, has not missed a day of camp.
Look at how unusual that is, Kevin. You've got the left guard and the left tackle both wearing those clubs on the right hands. I mean, that's hard.
Well, we've reached the 2-minute warning. It's presented by the Wisconsin Lottery. Packers scratch games are on sale now with a bonus drawing for a private suite for 25 people. The 2017 Packers home game at Lambeau. Learn more at WILottery.com. 2-minute warning, 3rd and 11 for Green Bay. 3rd quarterback in, Marquise Williams, good runner. Passing has been so-so, the rookie free agent. With Brandon Ross in the backfield, and here he goes. Blocked by Murphy. Here's what he does so well. Look at him dance. He's not going to get the first down. They chase him. They bring him down on the play. Scove was right there. Gain of 6 on 3rd and 11. Rich, the time of possession has been a constant theme in this preseason for the Packers. Now they're approaching 39 minutes time of possession tonight.
That's how you win football games. I mean, they've dominated time of possession. They've been the more efficient team. They've run the ball better. They've been better on third down. They do a much better job getting off the field on third down defensively. And I just think that the constant harassment of 49er quarterbacks. I mean, starting with the first team. I mean, they've done a great job against all three quarterbacks that they've seen from the 49ers tonight.
Maste is going to punt now.
It's actually been four quarterbacks. All four quarterbacks.
Rich, when you were just starting your NFL career, I'm sure that you were very much aware when the cut down date was, what you had to do. I mean, all these kids.
Talk about sleepless nights.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you work a lifetime for this opportunity. I mean, you start with Pop Warner football, high school football, college football. And at each stage of the journey, it gets harder and harder. And you look at Ted Thompson, and these are tough decisions to make, you know, and they're not always the right ones. I mean, you know, you just sometimes an injury to a certain position forces you to keep an offensive lineman, and you wind up letting go a really good corner or safety because you had an injury.
Maste will try to do what Peter Mortel did and get this ball inside the 15. He does with effect. 40-yard punt and well placed. Coming up on the Packers TV Network post-game show tonight here from Santa Clara, we'll name the Wisconsin Department of Transportation Player of the Game. We also look ahead to next week's exhibition game in Kansas City at Arrowhead against the Chiefs. We'll have some final thoughts on our game tonight, all a part of the Packers TV Network post-game report. And here were some of the players tonight who looked good.
Yeah, I think all of these players, Kevin Allison, Burks, really took advantage of some opportunities. And I would say this about Callahan. If for some reason Brett Hundley's not ready to be the backup week one, I think they've got to feel pretty good with Joe Callahan based on what they've seen through the first three preseason games. He's really handled himself well in some critical situations. Remember, he started the first preseason game against the Cleveland Browns, put together a really impressive drive before the half. I just think the kid's got some real poise, confidence, and playmaking ability, especially when things break down around him.
Harris just picked up 7, second down and 3, and it looks like he has wheeled his way for a first down. About a 4-yard gain, maybe 3.5, and he's got that, and that will be the final play of this game. The Packers, Rich, are undefeated in preseason and have been convincing in each of the games against the Browns, the Raiders, and tonight here on the West Coast against San Francisco.
Yeah, they've got to feel pretty good about what they've accomplished so far in preseason. And the most important thing, as we know, is to get out of preseason healthy. They've got one more week. They've got the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City at Arrowhead. And hopefully they get through that. Hopefully, Kevin, we get a chance to see Jordy Nelson. To me, that's important. To me, that you talk about the one thing that's still hanging out there. We got to get this guy back on the field. And it'd be nice to see him play a little bit next week, even if it's for a series or two against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Just the one thing you cannot replicate, Rich, in practice is the speed of the game. I think Aaron saw that in the first series tonight.
Yeah, and I think just the confidence of getting him back out there and a couple snaps, couple cuts, couple plays, just to feel good about where he's at. He's put a lot of time and effort and energy into his rehab. These 3 practices this week, and Mike McCarthy talked about that with us earlier today, are important for Jordy Nelson as he gets ready to play week 1.
Packers are undefeated. They beat San Francisco tonight and again look good on defense, and the offense was there for a win against the 49ers.